Go live. AWP MEMBER, where are you? You were supposed to be here. Okay, do we got voice? Okay, good. We got voice. Good afternoon. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. Kind of getting organized here. So sorry that I'm 5 minutes late. I don't normally do that. I restarted the modem. I'm all wrinkly too. I didn't like the shirt I had on before. But I reset the modem because yesterday we had connections as soon as we started. And so hopefully to avoid connections and hopefully like it's smoother, we don't have to deal with yesterday. I just did a full modem reset. So hopefully we can start smooth. Now, there's a lot to talk about. I spent most of my day. See, the things that we're going to see, a lot of people probably have seen like the SamSam videos. We're going to watch those again. I've watched that once like a long time ago. He re-enabled it. But there's a lot of other things too that we have to talk about. And I even spoke with Anthony for a while, which is one of the ex AWP members. I spoke to him on the phone briefly this afternoon. Let me just make sure you can see. I'm not at this part yet, but I wanted to show you just to talk on this real quick. Hopefully you watched the previous video that I just did. If not, check it out after the stream. But we were talking about, you know, it seems like Anthony had said that they knew or that Jared had told him, but then again, was that a lie? Like, was he told a lie or whatever? And then also we spoke about this email exchange where it says, "My life holds no secrets and everyone in my office feels your pain and has seen this email string," which honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this was some sort of manipulation tactic to the victim, possibly to make her feel like, well, everybody knows this. Everybody's cool with this. Why do you have a problem? It could have been some sort of manipulation shit. Oh yeah, my whole office knows about this. You know, and maybe I can talk to this, Anthony again and ask him again, like, did they know? Did he tell people? He said he knew of the allegation. So when he spoke on the last live stream and the video that I just posted, when he said that he knew about the charges, he meant allegations. And maybe if he has time, I'll call him at the end of the stream. And by the way, if there's anybody in the chat too, while I'm streaming that wants to come up, you're going to have to wait to the end because I got a lot to go through and then we're going to do calls and stuff like that. So I don't know. There's a big conversation whether these people knew or not. You know, it's a hot topic. People are upset. I don't know. We're going to look at Doug's video too that came out last night. A lot of the stuff came out last night, but I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm going to get some rest. I'm not going to, you know. And also before we get started, here's some other teams too, other dive teams that you can support. This was on Reddit. I put it in the description. So you got Chaos Divers, which we're going to talk a little bit about soon. You got Chaos Divers, Nug, Exploring with Nug. And honestly, to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever heard of these people. I think maybe Chaos Divers I've heard of. But I didn't know there was all these other teams. So it's like, whether you still support AWP or not, or you feel it's separate or whatever, however you feel, there's still some other teams out there too that you can support. And so we got Chaos Divers, Nug, Exploring with Nug, Adam Brown Adventures, Depth History, Dirt Water Divers, Georgia River Boys. So I put all the links in the description if you guys want to go check out the, you know, the stuff. Also, because I'm reading what Blair said in the chat. He said, "I don't know if Doug knew, but he sure doesn't care." And I had some people tell me that they felt it was somewhat insensitive because one of the things he opened up with, like, it was 30 years ago. You know, maybe he just didn't mean, I don't know, you know, but it did come off kind of as like, it's a long time ago. Or maybe he was just stating the fact. But, and there was a couple of things too, because people were wondering about the whole code thing and the meaning behind that, which I wasn't sure myself. Did he mean that the code is, you don't support people that do things to kids? Those type of people, you know, get certain repercussions? Or did it mean, some people took it as, you know, oh, he knew, but he wouldn't say because it's the code, you know, but, and also I guess the way he was talking, I gotta like take a breath for a second here. I'm all amped up. I've been going about this all day. You know, there's NDAs, I guess there's contracts. When I spoke to Anthony today, which he stated in that conversation on live stream, he said that Jared made him sign an NDA like in July. And so all the stuff that he said, it's because he could say he said the stuff before July. After the fact, he said he's not allowed to talk on it and speak on it. So they do sign NDAs. He said that the NDA, what he told me on the phone today is that he mostly did volunteer work. But then at one point he was supposed to be hired and he was going to be on that second vehicle, whatever trailer thing they bought. And that's when he was made to sign an NDA. So they do sign NDAs, which people have certain feelings about that. Why? They do sign like competitive clauses and stuff like that. The other thing too that I just wanted to kind of, I'm not going to go over the court documents again because, you know, in the comments, people are like, what? Some people are still going on about the documents. And the last live stream I did, there's a link. It's on the screen. You know what I'm saying? It's on Reddit. It's, if you can't find the documents, God help you. You need to be somewhere else. I can't help you with that. We've talked about it and shown it so many times, and so has everybody else. It's real. All right. The Illuminati didn't concoct these documents. They didn't come out of thin air. Somebody didn't sit on a type. Well, maybe they did to actually type this up. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean, right? So special instructions, you are further directed to appear at the San Pete County Jail at 1500 South Highway for booking in. Bring with you to the jail this summons and attached information document by at least 8 a.m. of the day of your court appearance. You're encouraged to hire an attorney. If you are indigent, which we know he's not, you're entitled to a court-appointed attorney, blah, 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 blah. So I believe it says here by SF, before the court appearance, Jared will surrender to arrest, be booked, fingerprinted, mugshot taken, and released. So he is going to be arrested, but he's going to be, let go, got money and all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Okay. And we're also going to get into the whole, the property stuff, the trust fund stuff. There's a really interesting Reddit post. At that point, too, when I get into that, I'm probably going to bring somebody on a little bit to talk about some of that financial stuff. This person was saying you should just follow the money. So Chaos Divers, let me get my headphones on. Brian says to read it. Maybe once I get through all this, I'll put it on again, the documents, and I'll, there's just some people you can't help. Some people don't care what somebody allegedly did. I mean, it's pretty, the emails, the documentation. I know everybody has their day in court, but there's some people, you'd swear there's people saying, oh, who cares? Some of the verbiage that these people use, they could care less if a child was abused. Some of these people are so cold and callous, some of these people you've seen online. And some of them, I've seen some comment, oh, they were a victim themselves and they're talking shit. So anyway, this part here, this is Chaos Divers, this is AWP, and this is why they made a video, I guess, speaking out about this, because everybody wants anybody with any kind of logical sense, you'd probably want to distance yourself from Jared, maybe even the organization, or that just clearly state, hey, you don't condone or support this. And this also ties in with their kind of business model, but then people talking about who's the CEO, because supposedly they had gotten Jared appointed a new CEO, and who knows, all that stuff too can just be like, hey, officially it's in this name, so I'm still collecting this money. You have this agreement, take it off of my name, but here's the mention of that.
Events. Standing with me, I have Lindsay and Jacob with Chaos Divers.
Chaos Divers,
as well as Peter Coughlin, who is our CEO.
Oh, Peter. I thought it was Paul. Whatever.
Here at Adventures with Purpose.
And this was 4 weeks ago. A lot of people, see, I haven't been following AWP like this. First of all, a lot of the comments in the various different channels, people are like, I always knew there was something weird about this Jared guy. Something off about him. Second, I've been hearing that he hasn't really even been on the last whatever episodes or whatever. He's been distancing himself. And some people believe, too, he knew this was coming. That's why he started doing all this stuff with money or whatever, and CEO and whatever else.
Standing with me, I have Lindsay and Jacob with Chaos Divers, as well as Peter Coughlin, who is our CEO here at Adventures with Purpose. So, as you can see behind me, we're in the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Events. Standing with me, I have Lindsay and Jacob with Chaos Divers, as well as Peter Coughlin, who is our CEO here at Adventures with Purpose. So as you can see behind me, we're in the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Events.
Okay. Sorry, I let that replay. I'm getting texts. All right, so this is and I heard they were putting out a video today, so I'm going to see if they put on another. They put this one 8 hours ago, but I heard supposedly there was another one coming out.
Charles, Florida.
And let me subscribe. I'll start checking them out. No, that's the only video they did. Okay.
This is very hard for me to say this, guys. While Chaos Divers will stay true to the followers and stay steadfast to our journey of helping and bringing home lost loved ones, we do not condone the alleged actions of others. From that, I want to apologize, but this is...
Nicole, thank you for the super chat. Says, fellow survivor here, and I stand behind them. I'm assuming you mean the victims. You want slow mode already? We're only 2,000 in. Yeah.
This has to be done.
Really?
With what we were made aware of, this was way back before we even knew each other. This was years and years ago. Everybody was blindsided with this. Nobody knew. I want to make a promise to you guys that Chaos Divers will continue to do what we do. Our team will continue to fight for the families who have lost their loved ones. We will continue the journey that we started.
All right, the mods are complaining. Let me do it.
My promise to you is Chaos Divers will always be true and faithful to each and every one of you. We love you guys, and I hope you understand we will not be working with the colleagues that we worked with before. And I love you guys. Keep diving. It's not worth it to stop. And there's another thing I have forgotten to mention. We will not be discussing the actions of others, nor will we disclose any personal information of that matter due to the open investigation still going on. And my heart goes out to each and every one of the victims.
See, this message, I just have to say, and I don't want to be like comparing like who says like when they come out with these things, but this was more compassionate. And I don't even remember the Doug thing. We're going to listen to it a bit, but it just seems at least he's, to the victims and, stand with you. And like, even at this point here, I'm not going to rewatch the whole thing, but you can see like he's pretty like bothered,
From that, I want to apologize, but this has to be done. With what we were made aware of, this was way back before we even knew each other. This was years and years ago.
Yeah, it's like, it's tough. Let me just play the last part.
And my heart goes out to each and every one of the victims. I'm sorry.
Wow. I mean, and just real quick too, thank you so much to Rabbit Hole News, Cinema Shogun for all the coverage too, and I was on Rabbit Hole News the other day too. Just everything, the compassion and the coverage. It's been really good. And definitely check out their channels. Oh, and I forgot to. Well, this is what I wanted to do. I normally like to organize my tabs, and I'm still kind of. So yeah, SamSam posted a thing on his Facebook today. Let me fix myself here. All things that are said in the darkness will be brought to light. This last year has been extremely hard for me as I waited patiently for the character of that individual to be brought to light. I have been heavily harassed, lost friends, experienced depression, and been hit extremely hard financially. With all that being said, I'm glad that I didn't follow the golden ticket and that I decided to follow God and keep my soul intact. Video from over a year ago when I saw the light and made my decision to distance myself. And it's kind of like, well, we should watch the video too, but once you go over against some sort of the grain or some heavy entity or somebody that's deemed popular, celebrity or whatever, the mob, whether right or wrong, these people don't care. They come after you and they try to destroy your life. And I think he's had to take these videos down several times and put them back up. Let me get the super chats because I always leave it for so late. Manny, thanks so much for the stars. Appreciate that. Devil-eyed Elvis says, "Goddamn, look at that perfect hair." He's on my mind. Thank you. It's all over the place, though. The Neighborhood, thank you for the 11-month membership. Much love, Mel. Nicole Bryant, thank you so much for the super chat. And she said, fellow survivor, I stand behind him. I've had a lot of people DMing me or emailing me, quite a few, not a whole bunch, but a few people DMing me and telling me their stories. And it's just kind of like shocking. And friends telling me their stories, and like people that I talk to just telling me snippets of their story. And I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of people. And some of these people had told me that, you know, it was either within their family or most of the time it's in the family, and that they told their parents and the parents did not believe them, which is just mind blowing to me. How the hell, what kind of parent are you? Unless maybe you've been abused yourself, and then I don't know, you're conditioned to just sweep it under, and then you do the same for your kids. But then there's other people that would want to be like, no, I'm not letting my kid go through the same shit that I went through. I don't know how anybody could do that, deny their child, and then walk the rest of their life like normal or whatever. Like that, I would just, knowing that your child is traumatized and you didn't stick up or stand up for them or even just believe in them. And then that probably affects them for the rest of their life too, right? And if your parent doesn't believe you, why are you going to go tell anybody else? If your parent doesn't believe you, the person that you trust the most in your life, and these animals on the internet too, why didn't you say it then? Or why didn't you, if these animals talking about a 9-year-old, well, why didn't you say it back then? Right? I got to stop with the animal thing because YouTube doesn't like that. But if your own parent doesn't believe you, why would you think that anybody else in this world is going to take up for you or believe you? Not saying that that's the case, because there's probably a lot of people that would support, but as a child or growing up, a teenager, probably the mentality, the one person that brought you into this world, you know, put it under the rug and didn't believe you and said it's okay. All right. And I don't know which order I was supposed to do this in, the 2-minute one or the 20-minute one, but let's listen to Sam. And I emailed him, and I just, even though I could just do this as fair use, but I just emailed him and I got his blessing. He's like, yeah, he's, I'm just saying it because to let people know, like, he's just like, yeah, he just wants the word out. Go ahead, you know, sure, you know, use the video, whatever. And I've always heard good things about this guy. Not saying he's perfect, but like the various different people like Anthony or just people that follow AWP. I've heard some people be like, I used to watch AWP, and then when Sam left, I was done too. And I could tell that this guy really is just like, I don't know. He doesn't want to go on panels. He's not trying to do interviews, because some people are like, oh, is he coming on? Is he gonna do an interview? He doesn't want to do an interview. He got screwed over not too long ago, where he went on, somebody recorded his call. You know, it was a private conversation. They recorded it and posted it on YouTube. You know, and that's what I say sometimes too, because there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes, man. Like even today, I was finding things out, and I just feel conflicted about the things I'm finding out. And also, people trust me. That's one of the things. That's one of the reasons the people that have come to me because they can trust me. If they tell me they don't want me putting something out, I even had a phone call last night. I'm not going to put it out. I'm not thirsty, desperate. You know, I have a bit of integrity, or I should just say integrity. I like to think so. And so there's just some things that I saw today that kind of had me shaking my head. I'm not going to say anything now. Kind of shaking my head, a little concerned. I mean, and conflicted, because in one aspect I understand maybe why they're doing certain things, but in the other aspect I'm kind of like, I don't know, it's not going to be good, you know? And then there's another layer to it, which I can't say either, because the person trusts me, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But I just feel pretty bad for the victim and people involved, you know?
Hey, what's up, guys? Sam the Adventure Man. I just wanted to take a moment to publicly announce that I will no longer be working with Adventures with Purpose. As far as why,
and I don't even know if I'm subscribed. Oh, I am. Oh no, I'm not. Let me subscribe to them. Subscribe to these channels, guys. The one I put in the description when you have a chance.
I've decided at this time not to really get into that. And I might in the future, but as far as the here and the now, I'm just going to take a moment and get my head right. Anyway, guys, I wanted to say thank you for all of you who have supported me as I've done work with Adventures with Purpose. You guys have come over to my channel, donated to me to help, pay my way while being on the road. But due to some things, I will no longer be continuing to work with them. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to be the first to tell you that. And again, thank you guys. I love you guys. I greatly appreciate you guys. As far as my channel and where I'm going to be going with that, I'm just going to take a moment, regroup, catch my breath, go for a hike, maybe take the boat out. And then after that, with my son and my girlfriend Renee and maybe some other friends, I plan on getting back into doing cleanups or continuing cleanups. I've always done cleanups even before YouTube was a thing, and also doing missing loved one searches, which is something that I also did before I was ever on YouTube.
Thanks, Level. Yeah, this is a video from a year or two ago. This one says a year ago. And he's taken it down and put it back up a couple of times just because of all the heat and static and the mob and all the crazy people. I'm thinking that's part of it.
So yeah, I'm just going to take a moment, get my head right. Thank you guys for your support. Again, I'm not sure if I'm really going to be getting into, the reasons at this time. But as far as, for me, I'm just going to wait a moment, let the smoke clear, and just do what's right and healthy for me. I've really enjoyed, the work, bringing people home, getting to know people, just really serving others. That has been absolutely amazing. But the fact of the matter is I was doing that long before I was on YouTube and long before I was with AWP. Anyway, guys, once again, thank you so much for supporting me. I love you guys, and watch out for upcoming videos or live streams, or yeah, we're definitely still want to do good in the world. I have a lot of equipment right now. I'm not going to let that go to waste. And again, I'm grateful for the chapter. I did a lot of cool things. I helped a lot of people, met a lot of good people, and more importantly, I don't necessarily know more importantly, but also, I got to meet a lot of you guys. So thank you guys for your support, and yeah, watch out for upcoming videos.
Okay, and Little Bit said that Josh Cantu is getting ready to premiere his resignation. So it's in about an hour. He's going to premiere that. So at that point, we'll see if maybe we can watch it. I don't know if it'll be a problem. I don't know how long it's going to be, but or in a while he's going to premiere. So at some point, we'll see if we can take a look at it. Supposedly there's a thing I got to talk about that too with Josh, because there's a post, they're saying some sort of cryptic message. It says he's the videographer for AWP, so he's resigning. Wow. That's what they're saying. So, yeah, my resignation with AWP. So whenever we have a chance, we'll check that out too. It's interesting. Diggs, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for being a mod and a friend. Nothing done to him excuses what he has done to others. Nothing good he does now erases what evil he has done. We stand with the victims/survivors. Would you believe that's controversial too? Like if you go and say that in the comment section, that's controversial. What? You're crazy. No, what? They go nuts. That's it. Thank you for the membership. 9 months. We stand for the victims. Stay strong. Your voice matters. Thank you. Jackie and Mel, we trust. Hit the like button. Yeah, please, if you guys could hit the like button, it helps out with the algorithm. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys' support, the people that have been riding with me, even through all the crazy and insanity that we've had over the couple of months or whatever it was. Hugh Grun, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, thank you, Mel. AWP MEMBER from Iceland. Wow. All the way from Iceland. Cassie Roku, why does AWP still have the same amount of subscribers from the other day when I myself and others have unsubbed? That's a really good question. I've had people asking me that. I know from Social Blade, right? Social Blade, there used to be a thing where Social Blade, I don't know if it still does it now anymore. Let me just double check. Social Blade used to be able to track the subscribers lost and gained in increments of 1, 2, 3 people. There used to be a live feed. I don't know if they still do it anymore. I don't even think they have that anymore. I could be wrong though. Detailed statistics, user video, live subscriber count. They do have a live sub count. See, look, let me show you something right now. Is that accurate? See, that's not accurate. Right now, my actual subs, they changed something because the API changed. Okay. A while back, I'm kind of a little bit into technology and I kind of follow sometimes the changes and mechanics on YouTube. And so my actual subs, you guys see that solid number. In my studio, let me just do this real quick because I know a lot of people were asking that question. They were thinking they're paying for something or there's some sort of whatever going on. It's actually 143,085 on my end. My actually shows the increments of 1 and whatever else changes. The API changed, so now it only shows, at least on most channels that I've seen, it's by 1,000. So if I, over a period of 7 days, I gain 1,000, then one day you're going to see, boom, 1,000 subscribers. It doesn't mean all of a sudden I got 1,000 subs in one day. It just means it updated because it's in increments of 1,000. Let me see what you guys are looking at. So like you see here, 1,000. I didn't get that all in one day. That's over a period of time. And so that's how it works. So if I lose 500, negative 500, you're not going to see that unless I get to 1,000. But if I get negative 500 and then I gain 400, whatever, you're not going to see a loss or really a gain. That's how it works. So, but even with that, you would think that they'd still lose at least 1,000, but they're probably still gaining so many people too that you're not going to see a loss. They're probably gaining more than they're losing still. I don't know. And in most media, which I want to check this out as well, Ventures with Purpose. One of the shocking things to me is that most news media outlets, see, this is what AWPs look like. Most media outlets are not covering this, which is kind of like, they gain 10K. I don't know if theirs is different. I don't know if you get in the millions, then they maybe only do 10K increments. If that's possible, maybe they don't do 10K increments. Maybe there's levels to this shit. Whatever it is, I'm sure they've had to lose some, but they're not losing anything significant. And that's what I've learned with YouTube and social media in general. You can be a shitty person. You can do horrible things. Look at the situation I was in. People don't care. If you have some sort of status, people don't care. You can do whatever. You can lie. You can do all kinds of shit. You still got people out there jumping in front and defending Jared. You can do whatever. These people don't care. Not everybody, but, you know. So it could be multiple factors. And maybe a large part of the audience still doesn't even know. Maybe a large part of the audience is just subscribed, and when the video pops up, they go and click that, and that's it. The only news media outlet that I see reporting on this, and when I say news media, I'm talking not YouTubers. YouTubers have been covering this. I mean like the news channels type of shit. Law and Crime did one yesterday, which the Law and Crime video to me was a bit softball. I don't even think they mentioned it's his cousin. That's a pretty big detail. I could be wrong because I was kind of listening and doing things. I don't even think I heard them say it was his cousin that made these allegations. I don't think they said that. Somebody in the chat can correct me. So Law and Crime did something, which I thought was cool. They at least did that. And the only other news thing is the Sun. Why? Right? That's weird as shit. And all these little news media outlets, no, I shouldn't say little. They're so big on shutting and canceling somebody out when some kind of, abuse or whatever, depending on who it is. That's all over the press. With this thing, there's just a bleep. Where's all these news media organizations that stand up for injustice and canceling or whatever it is they do? And like, again, I said he has this day in court, but you can report on it. You're an organization. You have all this staff, all kinds of, resources. Where's all these other media outlets that claim to stand with victims? You ain't there. The Sun is the one reporting on this shit. That's it. And Law and Crime. That's weird. All right. Let's check out SamSam Adventure Man. And I want to hear his story, and I'm glad he put these videos back up.
Forth. I keep on coming back to the same place. that the public needs to know.
They might copy claim this video too. I don't know what kind of music
people
this is.
here on YouTube and on Facebook.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, yeah, he has some sort of music on here. I don't know what it is.
This was hard.
Maybe I just skipped the intro. Let's try to do that. There we
go. I'd like to start out just by publicly acknowledging that this is probably one of my weakest points, public speaking. This isn't easy for me to do. This isn't something that I've really wanted to have to do.
I don't know why people wouldn't say anything. I can't tell anybody what to do, how to do, for their channel or whatever. But a lot of these same people, you had these AWP people all over your channel. Now all of a sudden, what, you don't know them? Who's that? What? I don't know them. All right. I always thought it was weird too when they were doing that media press tour. Cause I rarely go on panels. Sometimes, I try to, but I guess I understand it. I guess the Kylie thing, but I'm like, damn, you're so busy or whatever. If you're so busy, how do you have all this time? I don't know. That whole situation, the way it was handled too, I thought it was weird, but I'm going to try to just stay focused on this situation.
But I know that it needs to be done. As I'd stated, I couldn't go on with my conscience knowing that, I had the power to say something and I didn't. So I want you guys to bear with me as I struggle through my words. And with that being said, I just want to start off by saying, I don't want any whatsoever AWP bashing. The fact of the matter is, they've had a lot of great results. They found people, they brought people home. A lot of you guys wouldn't even know who I was, without Adventures with Purpose. I'm incredibly grateful, for my time with them, with Jared, and it was amazing. We really did do some amazing things, but a lot of the stuff.
And keep in mind, this is October 24, 2021. So before all this shit has come to light. So just, keep that in mind for context.
That was going on behind the scenes just didn't sit right with me. A lot of the, what seemed to be people's motives also didn't sit right with me. And so, with that being said, I just do want to say that I am thankful for my time with Adventures with Purpose. I don't want any bashing. I love those guys. And I hope that if anything, that this will encourage them. And this will be met as some kind of encouragement to, get them to go to the next level so that they can continue the work. Jared's extremely brilliant, and I believe in him. And I love the dude. I sat close to him all the time. We were in the RV. I knew him well for 2 years, or I got to know him, I should say. Anyway, but with that being said, I'm thankful. And I also, in my opinion, with all the money that's come in, I thoroughly believe that you could probably fund 10 AWPs.
Damn.
With the whole bit, the trailer, the gear, just everything. I don't feel that the money is actually being used.
And you guys, make sure you go. SamSam's in the chat. Thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. And I just thank you for the kindness too, to just yeah, go ahead, use it. Even though people don't really have to ask if they do fair use, but I still, it was just so genuine. You're like, yeah, man, you just, go for it. And like I said earlier, I've always heard good things. So definitely support him. There's a list of not only Sam's channel, but other channels that do or have done that kind of work. That just go support those channels as well. I mean, if you still want to support AWP, that's on you, but there's a bunch of other channels too you can share some love to and support.
Appropriately, I feel like the image of being broke is constantly put out there and put in the public's face. Saying, hey, we're broke, we need tires. We need you to send money so that we can get tires so that we can go help this family. When, from everything that I saw, that's clearly not the case. And I mean, not the case in a big way. The image of being broke, it's being used as a vehicle, in my opinion, to get more donations. And that's how, this has mostly been funded. And also, shoving cameras in the face of grieving people who are at their lowest point in their life, and then being in a situation where they're constantly seeing that image of either them or their loved one, constantly being marketed. That to me does not sit right. That is not good with my heart whatsoever. Ooh. I started doing search and recovery 12 years ago when nobody was watching. I actually have a heart for this, and and I believe that, you know, my heart was used to, you know, put out this beautiful image to the world. But in my opinion, it's just an image. So shoving the cameras in people's faces, you know, that wasn't good for me. You know, these people are broken, they're sad, and then to be forced to watch time and time and time again, you know, through various different medias, you know, their loved one being paraded as if there's some hunting trophy. Yeah, that did not sit well with me.
Wow.
Again, I apologize. You know, my words aren't real good. You know, how I've seen people treated in our group. You know, within our group, how I saw people treated. That was not good, in my opinion, and also the treatment of others. You know, in my view, that things were not all that good. And you know, I just wanted to say, you know, I've been silent, you know, for like the last, you know, month, almost 5 weeks. I just had to take a moment, you know, get my thoughts together, figure out, you know, how do I even, you know, present this to the world.
Okay, so we do have somebody in the chat. The Nomac Experience in the super chat says, "I'm a former member of AWP. I left with Sam at the same time. Do you want to bring me up for a panel discussion?" I would love to. And I was asking them to verify too, to check. And there's a piece of information here. It says Sam and Kevin parted ways with AWP in August 2021, and Dan in May. Oh, Dan, that's Dan too. I remember when I was talking to Anthony, he had mentioned Dan. I think he mentioned Dan in May 2021. Although the video above is not private, Sam is still making videos on his actual channel. Okay. So I'm going to set up the panel. We're going to continue to listen to this, but I'm going to just give me a couple and I'm going to set it up so we can bring you on.
Some legal counsel was sought, you know, to understand, you know, the wording and how to say things correctly. Because I don't want to find myself in a lawsuit, or that has been part of the reason why things have been so quiet on my end. So I do want to take a moment to, you know, apologize. Many of you guys reached out with your messages and your encouragement, and some of you guys with your challenges. I appreciate those too. But so many of you guys actually reached out to me. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize I had so much support in the world. You know, just a regular dude. You know, that can barely speak, and I just want to say thank you guys for your encouragement. You know, with all these things going on, you know, that I saw, you know, from my view, you know, what was going on with the money, how people were, you know, being exploited. You know, the image of being broke. Hey, we're broke. Send us money. Just all of these things that I saw going on. I came back to the point. Well, let me see if Jared even respects me. Let's see if he respects me. I think maybe about 8 months ago, I really don't know, he started putting out images of me and a few other people in his, you know, with stickers. He had stickers and pins and different things, and he was selling these things. He never asked me. He never cleared it with me. He never said, "Hey, Sam, do you mind?" But, you know, I let it go because, you know, to me, that wasn't really that big of a deal. And I'm sure he was probably only making, you know, a few $100, you know, off of that, you know, just my image alone. And then finally, you know, I said, you know, I want to see if this guy even respects me. I couldn't get back in that RV to do another trip without having this conversation. And so I reached out to him. This was me testing the waters. I reached out to him to test the waters, saying, hey, you know, hey, Jared, you know, I'm really, you know, I'm a volunteer. I'm not making any money. You know, things are tight. You know, I have kids. You know, I love helping people, but I need to make a little something, you know, as a volunteer.
That's crazy, man. And as much as like they make, you know, for Jared not to be able to do that, and, you know, he has a family and kids. Damn.
Volunteering with him for over 2 years, helping him bring, you know, 8 people home, but more than that, you know, helping his business grow and thrive. I felt that it was, you know, you know, it wasn't like a wild conversation for me to have with him, saying, "Hey, Jared, can I have a piece of the pie?" But it wasn't like any piece of the pie. It was specifically the piece that had my face on it, the stickers and the pins, and not the whole piece, just a portion. And his response to me was very curt, very short. He didn't speak to me as a friend that I've known for 2 years. He spoke to me as a, "Let's end this relationship here and now. You know, best regards, Jared." In fact, those were his words. "Let's end this relationship here and now." You know, this 2-year friendship. I didn't know him before YouTube. I seen him on YouTube, and just like many of you, I reached out to him to volunteer. And I told him, hey, I've been doing search and recovery. I'm a rescue captain. I have these skills. I'd love to put my skills, to use. And so, yeah, so that was my, introduction to Jared. And then after, years, I thought, man, maybe let's see if he respects me in this matter. But he said, no, he just dropped me. he dropped me hard and fast. And I was just like, wow. But I wasn't surprised, because in that time I'd seen him do that with many other people. And my hope in putting this out is actually, talking to you, Jared. I know you're watching this. I know your people are watching this, man. I love you, dude. I still love you. You're doing great things in the world, man. You have so much potential, so much capability. You're skilled, you're smart, you're brilliant, man. But you and I, man, we know where we're coming from here. We know our motives.
All right. I'm also hearing that SF is in chat. So I kind of set up the panel. My camera's a little wonky on there because I have a separate camera, but so, in a second, in about a minute or two, I'm going to drop the link for Kevin, the AWP guy, and so we can get him up here. And then, I mean, if SF wants to come on, or if he wants to wait after, or he just wants to call in after, whatever's fine too. And Sam, well, I know SamSam, he's not really, I understand too. It's no problem why he's not coming on.
But I don't know, just maybe try coming over to the motives of love, man. I'm telling you, brother, from me to you, man, I love you. And I hope that this will strike a chord with you. And I hope that it'll help you level up and your people level up to where all that money can truly be used for good. Anyway, I don't know, what do you think, Dan? You think I covered everything?
I'll drop it in chat.
Or you want to say a little something?
Yeah. Adventures with Purpose, really, when I became a part, the first time I started working with them, on paper, it was the dream job for me. I really was attracted to everything they said to be, their mission, everything about it. But as time went on and we grew and we got bigger, it seemed like there was a big shift within. And with big numbers comes big money. And that's totally okay. But we maintain the same image of, hey, we're hardly making it. We're hardly going along the road. And that really just didn't sit well with me. I've had the last several months to reflect on all of this. And in that time, I've been able to realize that, yes, I left Adventures with Purpose because I was blown out. I was tired of working. But more than that, I really was struggling morally with how we were handling things. It didn't feel like the honest operation we once were. It seemed like we had an ulterior motive. And it took me a long time to fully come to terms with that and realize that I was a part of this. But truly, I do believe it is within my responsibility and Sam's responsibility to speak out about what we both felt. And yeah, before Sam had announced he was leaving AWP, I really didn't know if anyone else felt the way that I felt. So I never really said anything about how it was bothering me morally, what everything's turned into, how we are using people's suffering to just profit. That didn't sit well with me. And I think with time, with every video I made, it just more and more felt more routine, more like, hey, what can we do to make more money? Not what can we do to help more people? What can we do to make more money? What's the best business decision? Things of that sort. And I don't know. It's hard to talk about this type of thing.
Yeah. SamSam said in the chat, and thank you for the people that screenshotting comments from me because it's going kind of fast. I know I was complaining before, what are they saying? And now I'm like, yeah, it is going fast. Dan is the first editor / cameraman. Oh, okay. I put the link for Kevin if he still wants to come on. That's nomic. If you want to come on, I'll put your channel in, or you could wait till the video is done playing. Either way is fine. I was just gonna make sure your camera's working, and they yeah. Everybody's freaking out in the chat.
I definitely feel as though this needs to be said, this needs to be done, because it's within Sam and I's responsibility, and I don't think either of us could live knowing what's going on behind the scenes. There's so many people being deceived, donating every month, thinking that this money is going towards AWP to keep them on the road. And yes, I'm sure some of it's going to that, but in my opinion, there seems to be a lot more than that coming in. A lot more. And it just hurts my heart to know that so many of these beautiful families we were helping are contributing money they hardly have to Adventures with Purpose, thinking that this is like their way of contributing to something bigger than themselves. Same way people will contribute to their church, that type of thing. It feels like you're contributing to something greater than you. And for a lot of people, that means so much. And to know that people are living on this assumption of this is going towards a good thing, when in actuality, I think it's something that we should be skeptical about. I think people just deserve to know that there isn't this amount of honesty and integrity that initially appears with AWP.
Okay, I think we have them. Let me just double check. Awesome. All right, how you doing? Let me switch the camera thing here.
Doing good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, great. Thank you. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Let me try to get my camera.
Sure.
I just moved into a new place, so
okay.
My place is bare, and I'm just unpacking it. It took me like half an hour when I saw that you were live, and I asked to come up, and you said, "Yeah, let me put a link." I just now found my camera.
Oh, okay,
I can't move it either. It is what it is. That's where it's going to be. I just got a call from Sam too on the phone. So Sam and I, we're really good friends. For all the viewers, I don't know probably 90% of your viewers, but Sam and I are pretty tight. We're close friends. If you're wondering who I am.
Do you know Anthony too?
Yeah, from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Anthony in Tennessee.
Oh, okay. I've been talking to him a little bit on the phone. Can you tell us who you are? Honestly, this is my first time hearing about you, but everybody's like, it's Ib, he's here, Kevin. I was like, oh shit. Can you tell us a little bit of who you are and like how you became to be with AWP?
Yeah, so I was rarely ever on camera, and I wasn't with AWP nearly as long as Sam. In a short story, I'm an electrical engineer by trade, and the company I was working with wasn't doing too well when it came to how they treated people during the pandemic. So I've been saving up for a while and wanted to travel the country. So I sold everything I own. I built a van out with solar power and things like that, and I traveled the country building a YouTube channel. I wanted to have YouTube fund my travels throughout the country. So one thing I was watching Adventures with Purpose probably for about 6 months before that. And this is back in November of 2020. Okay. And I got in contact with Jared, and I had said, hey, listen, I'm a former police officer. I know you probably don't read all your emails, but if you're going to read one, let this be it. There's going to be some murder cases that you're rolling up on, and I want you guys to be able to have security or the know-it-all before, a situation comes on. So I kind of gave him some advice. His response was to me and it was about 45 days later, hey, do you want to come on and be security? He didn't vet me or anything. He just said, do you want to come on and be security? So I said, yeah, I'm actually traveling the country. Going to be here in March. So this is probably December, January. I said, in March, I'm leaving full time to travel the country. I'm 100% going to be down with you guys. But I told Jared, I want to let you know that I'm going to ride your coattails and grab some of your subscribers, because he had like 900,000 at the time. I said, that's one of my goals, just to be completely honest with you. Serving, I was in the Coast Guard too. So I was in the military. Oh, wow. I was a police officer, and now I'm an electrical engineer, but serving has always been a part of my life up until this career here. So I was really excited to serve in some form or faction. And the videos that I saw up to that time, it seemed like everything was not only on the up and up, but especially with Sam. My dogs are going crazy back here.
That's all right.
You see him?
Thank you for your service. Yeah.
You're welcome. So I noticed, I knew that Sam was like my tractor beam to go help out because he just was such a cool dude on camera. And I found out off camera, he's no different. So I went out. I think my first time I met with them was in Sioux City, Iowa. Sam, if you can confirm or deny that. And it was a case that they didn't even film, or they filmed, but the audio went bad. They didn't find anything anyway. I have a video up of that tiny little montage video of me hanging out with them. Sam made a funny comment when I asked him, I was on camera saying, "What's your favorite part about doing all this?" And he's like, "Other than meeting you." And he gave his Sam laugh with a big smile. So at that trip, at the end of it, Jared, he's like, "Yeah, I wanted to invite you out to be full-time with us whenever you can. You seem like a cool dude." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." But that's when I told him I'm going to, try to ride your coattails a little bit and grab. My goal was 30 to 50,000 subscribers just to sustain my travels from YouTube. And he was all about it. And then I went on a Tennessee trip with them, and then another trip in Texas, like 3 or 4 different cases in Texas I did with them, and a few others after that.
So you weren't getting paid?
No, I was 100%
just right. And you're
100% not getting paid. It was all voluntary.
Okay.
In Tennessee, Sam and I really started to become friends because I think we were there for, I can't tell you how many days, but I know 70 plus cars were pulled out of the water, and we were spending time with each other from 5 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. And Sam and I jumped in the RV, kind of get some downtime. It was him, myself, and Doug. Sam and I were in the mid living area, and Doug was up in the passenger seat, just kind of chilling on his ramp. Hey guys, come on. So Sam and I started, just chatting, telling our life stories back and forth. And we found that our life, hang on one second.
Very good.
All right.
I'm trying to, and you guys, if you have questions too, it's really hard for me to see the chat, but I'm trying to take notes of the questions you guys have while he's talking, and I'm trying to listen. Okay.
So Sam and I became good friends. We shared stories, and we recognized that our stories are pretty darn similar. So we had an instant kind of bond between friends. So to make a long story short, I noticed a lot of things behind the scenes that I was not comfortable with. I didn't discuss these with anybody. Dan and I had become good friends too, but not to the same level as Sam and I, because Dan's got a lot going on. He's a full-time student. He's working on his editing career, and he's got a business that he runs. But Dan and I met Dan's mom, and I told Dan, I said, "Dan, you're the most mature 18-year-old I've ever met. So I actually look up to you." Because we've all made the mistakes when we were 18, 19, 20 years old. And he hasn't made any of those mistakes, nor will he even come close to them. That's just how well-rounded he is. But I didn't want to be the new guy and bring up things that I was uncomfortable with to Sam or Dan, even though I was really good friends with Sam at that time, still am. But Sam and I were always in contact no matter what part of the country I was in. I'd go to his boat, hang out with him. My van actually got broken into in his marina. We actually had Jacob from Chaos Divers was good friends with us. So there's been this whole triangle that's been off camera that nobody knows about. And now that nobody's riding this train of Jared's great, Jared's good, we all knew and left for other reasons. Now that wasn't on the focus trail anymore, I think now I can probably speak my mind. So Jacob and I from Chaos Divers are really good friends too. I think we're getting back to being friends again. And that situation started with, I was in Illinois at Jacob's place, his house, and we were I was traveling the country. I'm like, I'm going to come swing out to your area. I left Oregon, went straight to Indiana or Illinois, hung out with him for a while and did some live streams on my channel and his channel. And on that trip, I was supposed to I don't want to say too much, but that's when I left Jacob, I was heading to Colorado to start the next trip with Adventures with Purpose. It was like a 90-day, 27 case trip or something like that.
You were working with him too, the Chaos Divers?
No, I wasn't working with him. I was just friends with him.
Oh, okay.
But there are some live streams and some cases that I worked with him when I was out there, just because we were friends, and security is always needed. Especially one of the cases that we did was high probability of being a murder charge, and it was on 3 different county lines and 2 state lines, so we didn't know what law enforcement was going to take over it. And I got law enforcement background, so I knew he could have needed me if we found something and they had to direct some attention to law enforcement. So I left Jacob with Chaos Divers. Before I left, I had told him, and I hadn't even talked to Sam yet. And this is the next day is when Sam told me he was calling it quits with AWP on the phone. He told me that. And I was on the way to Colorado. So the day that I left Jacob from Chaos Divers, we had a conversation, and I had said to him some of the things that I was thinking. And one of the major problems I had is how Jared treated Jacob off camera. Off camera, he was very, very rude to Jacob, not only to his face, but 10 times fold more rude about Jacob behind his back. And Jacob at that time was a really good friend of mine. So I had told Jacob, I had said, can
you give us some examples too? Like maybe
Jacob's a very hardworking father, going through at that time or shortly before that some rough patches because he's a coal miner, and the coal mines were shutting down and laying off a ton of people. So Jacob's trying to balance his taking care of his family, which is by far most important to Jacob. I don't want anybody to think that his family's not number one. If you do, you're absolutely incorrect. Because I've seen a lot of things on his chats back in the day, which is like, where's your wife? What's going on? There was some difficulties going on because of the money stresses. And Jacob has more of a passion than most anybody I know to go into waters and help families get answers. I don't think, and being a YouTuber. So if you combine all those together, I don't think anybody else has as much passion as Jacob from Chaos Divers, and Lindsay, his editor and camera person, who's a very good friend of his as well. And I became really good friends with her and her husband as well. So I had told Jacob, listen, I'm concerned. I don't remember the exact conversation, but it went on something like this. Listen, I'm concerned about you and your direction, because Jared had just re-invited Jacob to start doing some cases with them. In the past, Jared had kicked Jacob out of hanging out with Adventures with Purpose for reasons that were basically just created in his own head, in Jared's own head. And he kind of took the route of, I'm king. I'm going to delete you from your career on YouTube. And then we had to go back to Texas, because the case we were working in Texas, we didn't find anything. But then then Jared noticed something on his dive sonar after the fact that could have been a car in the area we were at. So he did a live stream saying, we're going back. And Jared was very emotional on this live stream. He says, we're going back. And all of us, including Jacob, reached out. If you're going, let me know. If you need me, I'll be there. Everybody, 100% of everybody. Dan could not make it. He had prior obligations that he just could not get out of. So they needed a cameraman. Jared reached out to Jacob, who had said, if you need me, I'll be there, even though those two were still, not cordial to each other. Do you want to come be my cameraman? So Jacob drove from Illinois to Texas, and we met up, and he was his cameraman for that time. That was Jared inviting Jacob back into the mix, I think. So I don't fault Jacob for anything. I think he's made 99% of the right decisions. I'm not going to go into the 1% of decisions he didn't do right, because there's no reason to paint a negative picture on a person who doesn't need it to happen to him. This is inside of a very tight friends group, but it was manipulated by Jared. I'll say that much. It was manipulated that Jacob and I and Jacob and Sam would no longer be friends. And it worked. It didn't work between me and Sam, but it worked between Jacob and Sam and Jacob and myself. So Jacob went on these cases with him instead of us. We both quit. The day that, so now I'm in Colorado after I had a discussion with Jacob. Keep an eye out, trying to protect you. The next day is when I was in Colorado waiting to meet up with these guys and living in a van, traveling the country, an RV. It's not just a strict van. It's an RV. Sam had called me up and he had said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm officially and indefinitely finished with AWP. But Sam and I had already had conversations, so he didn't need to tell me why. And those conversations were about many topics. The least important topic, Sam let me know, the least important topic is the money.
Really?
Yeah, Sam's like, I really don't care about the money. I'm struggling like there's no tomorrow, but the money is least important to me. The most important thing to me is how these families are treated off camera. And that conversation with him and I the day before was, yeah, this is what I saw. Also, I didn't say anything to anybody. It wasn't my place. I'm brand new, not brand new, but I'm the new guy. It was just Sam, Dan, and Jared, and that was the threesome. We introduced me, which is 4, and 10% of the community had a problem with it, introducing somebody new to AWP. Mm-hmm. But even before they introduced me, I had a conversation with Jared and Sam, and I had told them, I'm not a camera guy. I'm not looking to be on your camera. I'm security. I really need to be off your camera so people don't know who I am. The 900,000 people, in case there is some, foul play going to be planned for the future, the least people who know who I am. But I am going to ride your coattails. I'm going to stay with my YouTube channel. I'm going to grab 20, 30, 40,000 subscribers. So I was never on camera. I think I was on camera like 2 or 3 episodes, but very, very little. And that's the way we wanted it. So Sam called me up and he told me that he was leaving. I said, okay, I'm leaving too. So I just sent a text message to Jared. I didn't call him. I didn't do anything. Him and I have never been close anyway. There's a couple of videos I did on my channel, behind the scenes stuff of just hanging out. I did one AWP behind the scenes, and then like maybe 3 or 4 videos of me hanging out with Doug, Jared, Sam. I did a lot of videos hanging out with Sam. So I was never really close to Jared anyway. I said, okay, I'm done with you. He's like, no, man. Sam was like, listen, all I care about is I don't want to be a part of treating families wrong. I don't want my face to be on AWP with the stuff that's probably going to come out in the future, meaning how they treat people behind the scenes in the camera.
Can I ask you something real quick? Because
always interrupt me.
Okay, I like to let people, because I want to listen to, but because I hear sometimes what the internet's saying, and I think this is important because people are saying that like, oh, maybe Sam knew about all these allegations, or maybe other members. As far as you know,
no one knew.
Okay,
no one.
When you say no one knew, you're speaking for you guys, like at the time in this circle, right? You don't know about the new guys, or
I know. I'd never like to speak for anybody.
Okay.
So I'm going to exclude Doug Bishop out of this because Doug and I've been to his house. I stayed the night at his house. I've hung out with him and his family. Doug and I, there's plenty of videos of me and Doug just cruising Oregon, looking at the sites there. I put them on video, a lot of twilight locations and things like that, and the shining locations. Doug and I had a falling out because of what happened next. So Sam told me he's not doing it anymore. Sam showed me the text messages. He actually sent me the text messages between him and Jared about the exit, or about the discussions that needed to be had. And it went exactly the way that Sam, I think he said in that video that I've seen it months and months and months ago, or maybe a year ago. I didn't watch it when you were playing it because I was looking for this camera.
Yeah.
I think he said in that video that, where was I going with this? I just got.
We're talking about.
The picture. Yeah. So Sam said in a text message, there was many things said, but one of them was, "Hey, it's just not cool for you to put my face on things, and one, not ask me permission, but two, he's like, I'm starving out here, not making any money, volunteering all this time. Just a tiny little bit of the royalties of that." And Sam was talking like literally a percentage of just the stuff that his face was on. And the follow-up text was, "I think it's time that you and I end this relationship." And I think the next thing from Sam was like, "That's fine," or whatever. I don't really remember. So I had sent at that time a text message to Jared saying, "I am no longer going to serve as security with Adventures with Purpose. I wish you guys the best in your future endeavors. I hope you guys can find somebody that will suit your needs to fill my position." No response. Never got a response. The response that we did get was a live or a community post on Adventures with Purpose's YouTube channel. And I'm sure that there's thousands of people out there who have screenshotted this because it was taken down. And the reason why it was taken down is because I did a follow-up live to that post and I held nothing back. I went full Irish ex-cop on this guy in my live stream. And that post pretty much said, I think the title of that post was in capital letters with exclamation points, "Attacked. Why Sam will no longer be with Adventures with Purpose," or something like that. And it went on a long laundry list of things that Sam was doing wrong. Like he wasn't dedicated to YouTube.
Oh, he did that? I never heard about that before.
It was about a 4-paragraph. Wow. And it was also up on AWP's personal Facebook page. It was up on Doug Bishop's personal Facebook page. And it was a full-on bash of Sam, that he's not a moral person, that he's not motivated, he'll never make it as a YouTuber, that none of the advice that Jared has given him to become a successful YouTuber has been utilized by Sam to further his YouTube career. And it's very ironical because at that time we had just gotten back from a long 90-day trip. It was in the middle of that 30 days before we left again for another trip. So instead of Sam putting up videos and doing YouTube, he went home for that month out of 7 that he had. He had 1 month out of 7 to be free to spend with his family. So he spent time with his family. So they took it upon them to bash Sam for not being this super entrepreneur and take all that free time that he has and ride this big wave of success that Jared has taught him on AWP. Now, Doug Bishop's not in the picture yet. He's still with Elite Towing Company and working with them. Doug's not a certified diver, nor was he a part of AWP besides, bringing the tow trucks out at that point. So after that, and I deleted this live. I now wish I wouldn't have deleted this live, but the only reason why I did this live was to have AWP take down that post on the community tab because it was all about bashing Sam. That was my only goal. So since he put up this bashing Sam community post, I did a live, and I think I had 1,000 people watching, which I'm usually getting 100 to 300. I did this live stream, just debunking all of the things said about Sam in this community post. And I think it lasted for about an hour or 2 hours. And I went down list for list in that post for the community tab, how they're absolutely wrong about Sam. And within 30 minutes, that post was removed off YouTube. And the reason why it was removed is because 2 reasons. And I know Sam, it's gonna be difficult for you to hear, but the main reason why that post was taken down was because the amount of negative comments they were getting, and he probably had a team of 5 people just deleting posts, and they were all about. So Jared didn't create, or he didn't make AWP happen. Sam did. Sam and Jared. So Jared, if he went on his own and he was always doing it by himself, he probably would have had success, but not as astronomical and as quickly as he did. Sam coming on and being Sam and solving cases with Jared, everybody fell in love with Sam. There is no doubt that Sam's genuine to everybody who watches Adventures with Purpose before he left. There's always been doubt from people if Jared's genuine. And that's just because you can't hide for too long who you truly are. It'll come out. Your personality wise. I'm not talking about past crimes or things like that. Personality wise. So he was getting overloaded with negative comments about Sam's the real deal and you're not. So they deleted the post. And that was my goal. So I decided to remove my live because I don't want to tow around with me my positive YouTube career, which is traveling the country, living in a van, seeing all the sites that people can't see. I'm going to take you guys with me. I don't want the coattails of me towing around negativity with AWP. Just deleting trash off my channel. Now I kind of wish I wouldn't because there's a lot that was said inside that.
So you completely deleted it. It's not like you like privated it or unlisted.
No, I knew if I privately or unlisted it that I'd probably put it back up. And at that time, my goal was just to stay positive and don't have any negativity in my life or traveling with the country with people following me along. Because I would always have comments about AWP if I would have left it up. And I didn't want that.
Okay.
So Jacob went on this trip. And I can't speak for Jacob, and he's never told me anything, but I will bet my next 2 paychecks that Jared said to Jacob on that trip, if you're friends with Sam and Kevin any further here, I'm not going to promote your channel. And Jacob put a lot of work in helping them out. What Jared doesn't know, and if you're watching,
probably watching. I'm thinking he's
finding
watching
out right now.
Yeah.
You're going to find out now. Jacobs knew all of the propaganda you were going to fill his brain with beforehand. And only thing that was concerning Jacob moving forward, doing those cases with you, was 1, helping families, and 2, building his channel so he could feed his kids. I'm not going to speak for Jacob, but and Lindsay, bless her heart, who's a cameraman and editor for Chaos Divers, she doesn't have a filter. And she's went straight up to Jared's face and told her what she has thought of him during that trip. And if you ever get a chance to bring Lindsay up here, she'll probably tell you herself.
She didn't like him at all then. Yes, obviously. Jared.
She tolerated him. Tolerated him for the success of Chaos Divers. And I'm going to reiterate, if anybody wants to think negative about Chaos Divers or anything like that for some of the things I'm saying, Jacob's main concern is always feeding his family during a time where he really needed that, and 2, helping families. So go show him support. Don't put him in the same spectrum of the money-making scheme. So I can shift into that real quick. The money.
Yeah, let's talk about it. The money-making scheme.
Oh my gosh.
So you weren't there, like once Doug came on, you guys were already gone.
Yeah, we left.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the months, maybe March of 2020. No, I can't remember it.
It's like a small community with you guys too, like search people, divers, like, or that like YouTube community kind of thing.
What? Ask the question again.
Is it like a small community of you guys? Like, a lot of you kind of talk? Like, it's like these other channels that I've seen. And now I know Chaos, but like, let me see what I can pull them up real quick. The Nug person, Nug Experience with Nug, Adam Brown Adventures, Depth of History. Do you know those people personally too, or just heard of them?
There's a 2-part answer to that question. Yes, in the beginning, all those channels were there in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you why they distanced themselves and weren't a tight-knit group anymore. But after the Tennessee trip, I haven't spoken, seen, or heard of from Nug. I haven't spoken and seen or heard of from Britt, who owns what was it? I forget his channel name. Depths of History. But they just kind of cut their ties and went their own direction. They weren't interested in riding the coattails of AWP. So we kind of were, and then just me and Sam and Dan. The money.
Yeah, let's talk about the money. Curious, because a lot of people were wondering and asking about that, and they sent me a bunch of questions too. But
in Tennessee, everybody was staying in a hotel minus myself, because I have 2 dogs and I live in a van. I'm not going to pay for a hotel room when I already have my house with me. Sleeping in the parking lot, being security for them in the parking lot with all their equipment and everything like that. So Jacob was there. I was there. Adventures with Purpose, Sam, myself. I remember going into the hotel room where Jared was, and we were having a discussion. He was editing a video. And without even me asking, we were just talking about analytics when it comes to YouTube, how to make better content, how to do this and how to do that. And the conversation got immediately shifted somehow into how much you can make on YouTube. And this is when they were at 900,000 subscribers. And I remember thinking this when he had told, I'm going to tell you what I thought first, and I'm going to tell you what he said. I thought, why would anybody give me that amount of personal information? If I'm not family,
right,
nobody should know this. And what he told me was, I'm going to pay $300,000 in taxes this year. That's how much money I'm making.
Wow. Oh,
and that's at 900,000 subscribers. Later on these trips, I heard many conversations about making $200,000 to $500,000 a month. Now they're at 1,200,000, 1,500,000 or whatever subscribers. And this is all allegedly.
Right,
I don't have any sheets or numbers to prove all of this. I'm just saying from what came out of somebody else's mouth into my ear. And when I heard that, I'm like, why are we even doing live streams with monetization on? Not monetization, but super chats and things like that. Why do you still have a memberships tab? But I think different than entrepreneurs. I think just make enough to be happier than making as much as you can and being less happy. So that's when the merchandise started really pouring out. And I went to Jared's house, and the first thing that he kind of bragged about when I was there was his garage. He no longer put his cars in his garage. It was just clothing line after clothing line and merchandise completely filling his garage. So I kind of make a joke at him, and he got mad at me. I said, you got to change your name to Adventures with Surplus. And I said, because this is ridiculous. You're selling boats, you're selling t-shirts, I'm like, he's like, man, I just got to make as much money as I possibly can. You know, it's a business. I'm like, I don't disagree with you. I've never been a businessman. So I don't have any drive I'm like, I don't know how you handle all this, making t-shirts and designing and things like that. So one thing I'll give Jared, when he's motivated, he'll do what it takes, but his motivations are not the same as kind of people I hang out with. He's motivated about making, being a millionaire. One conversation him and I had was, I asked him what his goals are for moving in the future. And I was thinking more on, do you want to stop diving and have a team, a bunch of people doing the camera work where you're just collecting the paycheck? And I told many people this. I said, before you started seeing Jared not being as much on videos, I told a ton of people this, because they asked, why isn't Jared on camera much anymore? I said, he's probably doing the perfect business model. He is setting the future up where he can just sit back and collect the check. That is what you do, what your goal is for running a business, unless your goal is vanity and you want to be on TV all the time and be the hero all the time. I know that financial freedom was more of a motivation than vanity for Jared, but vanity is still a thing for him. So when I called him Adventures with Surplus, he kind of got mad at me and things like that. And then I started seeing more and more live streams of, hey, we're broken down here, or we need new tires. One of my big one was when we went back to Texas on that trip to do a follow-up because we missed something on radar or sonar. The live stream was, please donate. We need $8,000 for this trip. And I already knew when he had said that, I had said, come on, dude, you're making like 200, 300 grand a month.
Wow.
I said, come on. And I think I remember myself thinking I might have a discussion with him because I have no negative feelings against Jared this time. I just think his business model, I'm more about just say the truth on camera because it's always, if you're saying something on camera, it's going to come back and bite you. That's why everything I'm saying right now is truth. I mean, if I were to make some stuff up, I'm fully aware that it's going to come back to bite me. So I remember telling myself that I wanted to have a conversation with, be like, you got to lean back on stuff like, please help us out because someday somebody's going to put up your taxes.
Yeah.
If they put up your
crazy.
taxes, we can pull anybody's taxes.
Right. Yeah.
If they put up your taxes, your channel's done and things like that. So the money hasn't been a problem since before I got there. Put it that way. Has never been a problem. I've seen wads of cash in glove compartments.
Wow. But they're putting it out, or he was putting out kind of like, we need this, we need that, we need help with this, help donate, whatever, pushing it. It's always been like that, I guess. But he's been fine. They've been making a lot of money.
He was making a lot of money. He wasn't giving anybody else
right.
anything.
Because your work there, Sam's work there was just volunteering. It wasn't like
I never discussed it with everybody else. I didn't find out that Sam wasn't getting paid until Sam and I started having discussions about his uncomfortability with AWP. That's just not, there's so much more for two guys who are becoming friends to talk about besides money and things like that. Sam's a minimalist. He's a huge minimalist. I'm a just as large minimalist as he is. And I can promise you that a conversation about money between me and him probably has never happened or will ever happen, besides when he was telling me the reasons why he was leaving AWP. Yeah. Questions. Let's bring up questions here, and then I can lead into how Doug and my thoughts on him.
Yeah. So I've had people tagging me on Discord and the chat. I've missed a lot. If mods can take screenshots and send it to me, that'd be great because I can't follow with the chat. And please, by the way, too, if you guys can go support Nomac's channel, I'll put the link. I added it to the description, but I'll put it again in the chat. And I also put these other guys too. If you could just go support these other channels. If you're upset or you're pissed or you feel some type of way or whatever, you want to find other channels, take the time, whether it's now or after the stream, just go to my description.
Real quick.
Yes.
My channel's done. I'm back into the workforce now.
Oh, you're not working? Oh, okay. It's just.
Yeah. So I'll do future videos I'll do 2 or 3 trips a year.
Okay.
And I'll put those videos up, maybe a few live streams, but
okay. It's just for fun.
If you guys are going to sign up to my channel and you're looking for content, it's going to be probably 4 times a year.
Okay. So we have him. We do have Chaos is in there too. Nug Exploring. And I heard a lot of people were in the chat. By the way, thank you for coming by. Nug Exploring with Nug, Adam Brown Adventures, Depths of History, Dirt Water Divers, and Georgia River Boys. Okay, so let me get to some of the questions, and then we'll get into Doug after that. Somebody was asking about the email exchanges. You wouldn't have seen that though because you weren't there with the company at the time. This was February 2022, I think. So the email exchange, I don't know if you heard all the alleged email exchange between his cousin and him.
I actually heard about it from watching your videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Sam called me up and said, this is, I don't know, a few days ago or Friday or something like that. He's like, hey, just want to let you know this is what's going on. And I'm like, dude, that's messed up. So I said, you know what, Sam, I'm going to go research it and let's talk again. And the first video that popped up when I searched YouTube for it was yours. So I just decided it was like an old live stream or a live stream that was already done. And I watched it. And you gave a very in-depth of everything like there or on those emails. And I was blown away.
Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you.
Because Sam's sister actually was part of Jared pranking Sam.
So let me correct that. It is. Well, let me just hold on because I was texting Jessica about this because she was talking about it because people were saying that she was the one that was there in that video, and I don't know if that's the sister you mean.
No,
but okay, no, it's not. No. It's somebody else. It's another. Trying to find
a sister or cousin or something like that. I can't verify. Yes. I've never met her,
right?
But I know that when Sam called me up and told me that prank was going on, he was like, "Yeah, it's like Jared's cousin or sister or something like that." It's my birthday, so my mom's texting me, blowing my phone up.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is what she sent me. I'm not sure if you can see that.
I see the dog and it's your birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Okay, I found the text. I mean, just for all the people that have been wondering about this, because I've seen messages and all this stuff. Okay. That's my little sister, Rochelle.
Yeah, 100% correct. I remember that name now. 100% correct. Yeah.
Right. Rochelle is her younger sister. It's Jessica's. Rochelle is our younger. Okay. Rochelle is our younger sister. And so that's her name, Rochelle. And Jessica was pretty pissed off because I don't think she even knew about this. And I haven't seen the video. It was on another channel. They were talking about it, but like they set up this prank to prank Sam, and Sam is or was, I know he was in a relationship or married to somebody. Still is. And they were trying to like set him up. I guess it was kind of funny, but like she had this girl trying to flirt with him and do whatever. And I don't know. They were pretty pissed off about that. But so everybody's clear. That's not Jessica. Right. That's another sister. Somebody asked here, did Jared force them to change how they edit videos for YouTube channel, referring to the style change in TV production? That again, you weren't there for that. The new
I was there for a lot of the, every case that I was on, they were filming. Okay. And a lot of the direction from filming is grab this, grab that, get that shot, you know, towards Dan. I've only known Dan as the cameraman.
Okay.
I did one video with I can't remember his name, not Carson, the other guy. Anyway, one video with him. So Dan's the only person I know, but I remember a lot of direction, like, you know, grab this person crying, grab that person, you know, grab this police car coming in, grab, you know, a lot of the dramatic things about it. And you guys gotta understand that Jared only knows one style of YouTube, and that's because he came from the Patty Mayo channel, where he was doing the editing and filming for Patty Mayo, and all of that was 100% false drama. You know, it was just, it wasn't even meant to be come across as true, but just funny and dramatic, which are like police cases and things like that. Okay. So Jared, he brought that into his AWP filming style, which is a reality channel that's not false, but he brought that into it. So yes, I'm not going to speak for Dan, nor will I ever. Okay. But I 100% know that the workload that Dan was taking on played a part in him leaving. Just a part.
All right. Next question. I saw they're asking in the chat. We're gonna watch Josh. I don't know, because I don't know if he's cool with us playing it, or maybe I'll just send people there after. I don't know if he's all right with that, and I don't want to like have issues on YouTube. So we'll see. We're still gonna do all the questions, everything. Towards the end, we'll figure out if we're gonna do it or not. And if anything, I'll just put his link and I can direct everybody over there.
Josh is a good dude. I've met him a couple times, and there's no bull crap with him either. He's just a good family man.
Okay.
So I would ask people not to put Josh in the same. Don't bundle him with the crap that's going on.
He made apparently he's premiering a video where he's resigning AWP. That's what I heard.
Josh is a moral person, 100%. Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting. All right, next question, and this is kind of answered already, but it says, were they compensated for the work they did with the AWP brand? I know you weren't. It was just volunteer mostly, and Sam too. But was Dan paid?
Dan was paid.
Okay.
So nobody was paid besides Dan before we left. Everybody was paid after we left. So everybody who took our positions over was compensated.
So people, they're asking too, what was the NDA about? So I'm assuming that you didn't have to do any of that because you weren't contracted on, right? But do you know about the NDAs, like what they weren't supposed to say or allowed to talk about?
Before we left, or how they are funded now, or how they run business now?
Because
there was no NDAs that I knew of before I got there.
Oh, okay. Because I've heard Anthony talk about it. Like they had these non-disclosure agreements where they're not allowed to talk about certain things.
So people who join up to hang out with us for a couple of days, they've got probably NDAs that they had to sign because that they don't want to release information before AWP had an opportunity to release it. Because I was even told during doing my videos on my channel, I'll give you a date you can release the footage that you're editing for your channel.
Okay. Let me go to the next one then. Somebody asked what the work dynamic was like, but I think you kind of spoke on that.
It was split. It was split
yeah.
between a lot of just having fun and free-willed, to the opposite. It was split, but there's a lot of people that were involved. And depending on it was all business when we were doing stuff. It was all business, and it should have been. And then during the off times, it was a lot of hanging out and just being guys.
Let me see. I had another thing here. Okay, I don't know if you know anything about this. It says, "Ask Sam and Dan about the uber awkward and fake candlelight vigil for Bill Simmons that Jared orchestrated and didn't stick around for." You know anything about that? I don't know.
I actually, when I worked the Bill Simmons case for them, it was a multi-day case, a multi-week case, I believe. And the day that I had to head back to Ohio, because I think I had another month of work before I was putting my notice in. I came back and they were working a helicopter case too, where they wanted to see a helicopter in the water. They actually found Bill that time. And I'm glad, I actually am really glad that I wasn't there for it, because talking to people who were locals there, that are friends of mine, they said it was a complete debacle behind the scenes. A lot of phony fake stuff going on.
Wow. Another question that just came through, and the previous question that was from PS, so thank you for that. Or somebody on Discord, I forgot. Laura P says, question for Kevin. I've heard at least one incident of family not allowed to take their mics off when loved ones were being recovered from water. Had you witnessed that?
I have not. I did not witness that. I never even saw the families get mic'd up. That I think that was a new thing after I left, because I did notice that some families were wearing mics. But when I was there was no mics on anybody. It was just, this is before he bought a whole bunch of equipment though too. There was just some high definition microphones on the camera with directional zoom and stuff like that.
Okay. Miss Norma wants to know, ask Sam and Dan how they felt about Jared using the Leach family. And somebody asked that, why did AWP stop the Randy Leach search? You know anything about that?
I can speak on that a little bit. I know that Jared's wife, this just comes from Jared, so I never spoke to his wife or met her. She had a problem with them taking on known murder cases or high probability murder cases. She just wanted him to stick to search and recovery for questionable ones. So yeah.
Okay. Chris was wondering, did they donate any money to families? I guess, Jared, do you know of any? Is that something they would do sometimes, or?
I never witnessed that.
Okay. Let me see. Anything else, chat? ACSH says, Kevin, thank you for your insight on what you do. We appreciate it. I personally will be following your channel in the future. Let's see what else.
Thank you.
Chris, we already answered that. He didn't give Sam any money, Jared, that I know of.
So the excuse, I was part of the excuses.
Okay.
I remember seeing the correspondence between Sam and Jared. The excuse was, I pay for everything. I pay for the RV. I pay for the gas. I pay for your food while we were out. You don't have to pay a dime while we're out. And I give you knowledge on how to be successful on YouTube per our agreement. Why would I give you anything more than that?
Okay. I guess let's talk a little bit about, one more. Let me slip in there to another one. Was all the equipment purchased, or was it donated, or was it like part and part probably, or?
Well, there was a ton of donations. The RV was purchased. The trailer, I believe, first one was purchased. Maybe the second one was donated. I don't know, or parts of it. But there's been, I don't know any numbers, but there's been hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of donations when it comes to either super chats or tires, or I would imagine, memberships and things like that.
Let's see. I got another one here. So Fresher said in the chat, AWP has sued before for reward money. Have you heard about them suing for reward money before?
Yes. And I knew before I came on. So this is how much I know about that style that he carries. I came on here knowing there's probably a great chance he's going to try to sue me for things I'm saying here.
You think over here, even just being on here on this stream?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Wow.
If he wasn't under indictment, I think,
to
do this, I think he would come after me for defamation of character.
Wow.
But I'm not speaking anything. Everything's alleged, and I'm not speaking anything to 100% truth. I have no documentation, nor will I provide any. I'm just telling you what I was a part of and what I heard other people say. I was a cop for a very long time. I know I'm way inside my rights to just talk.
Right. There was another one I saw. Oh, do you know if they've paid for funerals ever that you know of?
Not that I know of, no. Okay. I put it this way: I haven't witnessed any monies deviated out other than Dan from AWP. Dan's the only person I've seen paid, or entity that I've seen paid.
Okay. Do you know why? I'm just curious why Sam had taken the videos down a couple of times. Is it for fear of like being sued or anything like that?
It's not fear at all.
Okay.
I'm trying to. I know
you don't want to.
Sam and I are so close. I know the conversations that we're having in my brain right now. So I'll tell you that Sam. There's many reasons. None of them are worry. The major reason is that Sam doesn't want to have this as a part of his life anymore. And that's the way it's been for a year. He hasn't wanted this as a part of his life. There's been many videos made about Sam exiting, and he hasn't released them because he doesn't want that on his channel. He's already put one out. He doesn't want other people to comment about a very bad situation in his life on his channel. And the reason why he took all his videos down is because a YouTuber fooled Sam into a conversation. And after that, he was like, you know what? I'm just going to concentrate on me, my family, and work.
Right.
We're going to leave it. And then it's by far way before all these allegations came out from family members of Jared. He just wanted to distance himself from it. And I don't blame him. You can only concentrate on so much. And, you might see things from Sam in the future on YouTube. You may not. But that was enough. It takes a lot to break the camel's back when it comes to Sam. But that was a very heavy straw when he got fooled into an interview that he thought was a phone conversation.
Yeah, it was a long one too. And
so you know which one I'm referencing.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it, and I heard about it, and it sucks because I don't blame that guy for not coming on or anything. Like, I wouldn't want to come on either. You don't know who's really who or who's recording what or people's intentions, and a question Giselle was saying, what was the worst experience with AWP? Do you have one that maybe pops in your head?
Yes. I'm trying to think if I should say it. So the worst experience I wasn't a part of, but someone gave me this information. Now I want to direct you to not try to figure out who gave me this information because you're going to be wrong. But it was somebody who was there. And when I say people are there, it's either the cameraman or it's Sam or it's a family member or it's a passerby or it's a fan. It's many people. But I would take this from a grain of salt if it was a passerby. I wouldn't take it as a grain of salt if it was a family member or if it was a team member. There was a case where a grandfather of a small community came up missing. And during the off-camera interview with the family, a person in the family, I know who it is, so I'm not going to say who they are or what their relation is to the grandfather, had informed AWP that that the grandfather is a town celebrity. So he is well known, small community, very small community. We're talking, hundreds to maybe thousands of people, 2 streetlights, country old town in
Sam in the chat said you can say it was me.
Okay. It was Sam. All right. So the granddaughter had said, but my grandfather is a local celebrity to this town. So everybody knows him. So the motive or modus operandi, MO to starting a case is to drive around all areas, look at them on the global site too of waters that they could find people. It's just part of it. So there were some ponds or some lakes and some creeks of houses in the area that this person could have drove off into the water. So it made the investigation list. In that investigation, they walked up to a farmer, I believe, and knocked on his door and said, "Hey, we're AWP, we're dive and search teams. We're working a case right now and they mentioned the person's name. And the person at the door looked at all of them. Granddaughter was there, father was there, Jared, Sam, Dan, looked at them and said, "Never heard of him." So Jared looked right at the granddaughter and said, "I guess he's not that much of a celebrity, is he?" And then in the RV later on continued to make jokes with just her and the family and Sam and Dan in the RV of that same, Jared's very loose-lipped. He doesn't have a filter, and I don't think he has the social maturity not to be an asshole. And he was an asshole to this family. I've seen a family that we worked with in Texas where he was very matter of fact about the filming process and how we're going to create content. So don't pay attention to this or that, or just kind of follow my lead. I was a part of that one. And there was 2 sisters, and I got close with those 2 sisters when it came to, because I was security. I was with them while they were in the waters. And it was expressed to me on shore from both those daughters that they're glad that Sam and I and Dan are here because they're very uncomfortable talking to Jared.
Wow. Did you ever get creep vibes from this guy? Like I always keep hearing people sometimes kind of say like they got some sort of.
I got annoyance vibes from him. I've been bullied my entire life, and he has a very bully mentality towards me. But he didn't know who he was bullying when he tried to start bullying, but he got stronger and tried harder every single time. But I'm just too alpha to roll over and take it. And that was a big deterrent from him. I think that one of the major reasons why him and Sam and I became close.
Right. Oh, thank you for sharing that. More questions are kind of rolling in. Do you know where Jared is now?
No idea.
Okay.
I'm sure he's in Oregon. His case is the 30th, I think, in Utah, right?
Yeah. The case is in Utah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's in Oregon. And I want to mention one thing real quick for YouTubers that are watching this right now that are content creators. I understand the need and the want to draw up subscriptions and views for a hot topic, and this is a hot topic. Please do your part and don't create false realities, because this isn't a case or a subject about drunk driving or theft and stuff like that. This is a very sensitive topic. Don't try to get rich off somebody else being a pedophile. Make your motivation more towards bringing awareness and help than trying to be a content creator. I know it's difficult because YouTube's hard, but just do the moral thing. And if you're going to contact myself, Sam, Dan, or anybody to come on there, if we don't think that you're moral, I can guarantee the answer is going to be no.
Yeah, and to what you're saying, because I've been DMing the cousin. I haven't asked her to come on at all. Seems like a very sweet, genuine, authentic person. And I'm not even going to say a lot of the conversation, but some of the things was me warning her be careful, you know, don't go here, don't go there. One of them was about that whole situation where SamSam, you know, was recorded. It's like, be careful with that, you know, that channel, like that kind of stuff. Because there's a lot of like online traps or things that people will try to do, you know, or even her name in certain places. And so it's kind of, yeah, definitely agree with what you're saying. Another question here. Claudia asked, I wonder if they think Nick saying Kylie's location in the car was suspicious for views. I don't know if you know or followed the whole Kylie Rodney situation. Or...
I really didn't.
Okay.
I watched it. I never stopped watching AWP. I wasn't religious about watching them anymore when I left, but I would watch the cases that were solved. Probably 75% of them. And I, even as a former law enforcement person, even was riding the idea that there was foul play just from one video that AWP did. So in my brain, I was like, okay, if you guys have all this information, this happened, that happened, and this happened, and that happened, I'm pretty sure it's foul play. I come to find out like 5 days later that they didn't have one piece of that information. It was all just fabricated to sell the story.
With AWP?
With AWP, yeah, which 100% came out in the end.
Right. Well, people still don't believe that. I really, during that time, this is the way I felt about it, because I got mixed up in some huge mess, falsely accused of all kinds of stuff. And what I didn't like kind of how the way they handled it, AWP, because I feel like they were, I don't know, pushing foul play, push over the beyond. I mean, and going on all these channels, going on all these channels. I'm like, I don't even know how these guys have that much time on their hands. They're jumping on channels that have like 100 subscribers, 500 subscribers. I'm like, what? This is so odd. And the way they were titling their videos, I was saying they might as well have titled it "Murder or Murder." I couldn't believe. I was really turned off. Whoever was doing that on that channel, the way they were handling it, because it was causing. I feel like it was pushing some of the crazier people to attack innocent people.
You talking about the editors on AWP?
Whoever did the titling of the video,
so
and the members.
I'm pretty sure that they were controlled.
Okay.
That it wasn't their decision.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because I physically witnessed that side being controlled before.
Right. Okay. Oh, and I just wanted to clear something up too. I think people might have misheard you. I'm pretty sure I understood this correctly, but you said that the only people that got paid after you guys had left was Dan.
No, before I left. I only know anything about AWP from the time I left and before.
Right.
And the only person I ever saw get any financial gain was Dan.
So the other guys after you had left, they got paid. We're talking about like Doug, Nick.
Yeah, they're all paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to clear that up for, I know some people were asking about that again.
He had to have paid them. I mean, you can't have this big, YouTube bashing against him for not paying Sam and then follow that up with, I'm not going to pay anybody else too. So yeah, he had to pay those guys.
So you believe whoever this was over there, maybe it was Jared, they were spinning this story for clicks and views.
That's a motivation. Yeah.
Possibly, right? That's just our opinion.
But my opinion,
right?
No video ever produced from AWP is not about the most clicks you can get.
Okay.
100% motivation.
And I've heard some people said that they felt like there's at some point there was a change in their videos too, that it just got like worse and worse with the titling and clickbaiting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, greed will get, it's like a snowball. When you start to feed it, it's going to get bigger.
Okay. Somebody said, and I have no idea if you would even know this. Brock said, how did Jared?
Brock, what's up, buddy?
Oh, you know that person? Okay.
Brock the Rock?
It just says Brock.
It might be Brock the Rock.
Okay. How did Jared treat his wife? Sounds like all the AWP workers are on damage control. Jared has been robbing people his entire life. Would you know anything about
his wife? Okay. So I was never around both of them at the same time. Yeah, I never met his wife.
Okay.
He did hide stuff from her though. When it came to financials, I was there for that.
Okay. So somebody, and this is a good question too. Miss Bruce said, on a reputable charity searching website, it does say that AWP does have a 501c3. How does that work? How can they be nonprofit? And I've heard that they're for profit, not nonprofit, but there's always seems to be some sort of confusion about that.
So I believe that a difference between a nonprofit and a profit is a sustainable income. So when I say sustainable, it's a certain amount that's documented. When it comes to nonprofit, especially with AWP, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know the side of it, but I do know the YouTube side of it. I think that the YouTube income doesn't have to be a part of the profiting because it's not the LLC.
Okay. Possible. All right. Next one. And again, this is another one. Since you never met Jared's wife, does Kevin think that Jared's wife will stick by him? So,
how can any woman stick by somebody who, if he's convicted,
right? If he gets convicted, yeah.
There's things that a lot of wives. I mean, I totally am for a wife or a husband forgiving their significant other forgiveness for cheating. This is one of those things. This is not one of those things. This is the thing that you can't look away from. Even my own parents, if I found that out,
right,
it would be over. So I can't speak for anybody else, but I would just imagine that. I don't know. I'm not a parent. I've never been married, so I don't know. But I can just tell you, as a husband, if I was married, it'd be game over.
Okay, let me roll into the next one. If you guys have questions in the chat, just tag @iCkEdMeL. I don't know how much time you have. If you're okay for now, or how you're doing? You're good. So yeah, just tag @iCkEdMeL. I have somebody send me screenshots, so if I miss it, I'm not like fully looking at the chat. Gabriella says here, would there be anyone who would want to replace AWP, or do you see them just shutting down since there are so many other search parties out there who are kind of doing the same thing?
Here's my advice, or here's why I'm pretty sure what's going to happen. The only person that could carry this on as a YouTube career to take the torch is Doug. That would be a gigantic mistake for many reasons. I'm not Doug, so I'm not telling you what to do, Doug. If you're watching, do whatever you want to do, dude. You wouldn't listen to me anyway. One major reason is because there's a lot of videos of you praising Jared. I don't think you're going to be successful because you're very associated with him and you didn't leave. I think that you would fail. I hope that's motivation for you to be a success. But I just know how people work. I know that Doug is, when it comes to the allegations that comes on to Jared, I can tell you with all of his soul, I know how Doug loves his children. If someone would have done that to Doug's children, Doug would be in jail for murder. I can tell you that.
I wonder if that's what they meant by the code or something.
The code is that I don't want to give Doug's past up, but there's a code. I'll let you guess it. That if you come here, everything you've done is okay. But if you're a pedophile, we're going to kill you.
Oh, okay.
That's the code. Which means you can do anything. The only thing you can't do is touch kids.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of people were kind of confused. I know he was probably trying to be vague to watch what he says and maybe, I don't know. But some people had taken that as maybe he was hiding something or protecting Jared, or that with this kid stuff, when we don't tolerate that, like it's a wrap. And so
There's only one organization that you can do whatever you want. We don't care. You can kill people. You can do whatever you want. There's only one organization that says you do this, it's game over. I'm not sure if you know what that organization is.
Not really. Maybe some gang thing or something, but I'm not sure.
No. I'll tell you off camera. How about
okay. That? Yeah. Okay. Maybe somebody in the chat will put it there.
They probably will.
Run the World says, how do you feel about Doug? Do you think he's a good guy? And I know you touched on that a little bit. You guys had a falling out kind of, or?
Doug is a great human being up until the point when he played a part with bashing Sam. So all that's forgivable. I can tell you this about Doug. Doug's a family guy. He loves his wife. He loves his kids. Nothing's more important than them. He is passionate about not doing the 9 to 5 and to being a YouTuber. Sorry, Doug, this one's going to hurt a bit, but you're an extreme fanboy of Jared before all of this. Extreme fanboy. And that led you into being a jerk. And I think you were motivated by becoming a celebrity and hanging out with other celebrity YouTubers like Heavy D or whoever, Sparks. I think you saw what it's like to have a lot of money and or fame.
Can you explain the Heavy D thing? The Heavy D, because I saw somebody reference that on Twitter. What is?
Well, have you seen Heavy D? Sparks is, I don't even know. I'm not a member of his YouTube channel or a subscriber. I've seen a couple videos. Probably a 5 million subscriber YouTube channel or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Big beards like Doug. Okay. I think they first started off in like the diesel truck business on YouTube or something like that. I don't really remember. YouTubers don't normally watch a lot of YouTube unless they're researching stuff.
Right. Yeah, me either. Unless it's a topic I'm covering.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are sending me videos all day long, and I'm like, if I'm sitting watching videos, I'm not going to be creating videos or live streaming. It just
Yeah. For you guys that don't know, YouTubers don't watch YouTube.
All right, let me check some of the next question. Or unless you still wanted to keep expanding on Doug.
So yeah, let me expand a little bit on Doug. So I don't want anybody to put Doug into the spectrum of disliking him because of association with Jared. Doug 100% is against everything that's been going on right now. I can tell you that. I can promise you that. Doug has made mistakes, and that's severing ties and friendships and publicly bashing good people to gain seats in the house of Jared. Now that this came out, I would suggest, Doug, that you get back into the towing business. Because if you try to make a YouTube career with this, I hope you do well to feed your family. But reality is reality. The majority of YouTubers are going to see you associated with a pedophile or with an alleged pedophile, which is going to hinder your success. You need every advantage in YouTube that you can possibly get to start a channel, not negatives, especially one this large, to continue. I 100% that the name AWP will be a distant memory in 10 years. If anybody tries to carry that torch, it'll burn out on you and sting your hand. So I think that carrying this torch, getting your own channel, do it. If you don't find success in 2 years, don't spend any more of your money. A success, as I mean, is an income, not success of finding people.
So that YouTube channel too, I'm just wondering myself, who literally, is it Jared that owns that YouTube page?
AWP?
Yeah. The Adventure Purpose YouTube page.
Yeah, he's a owner, creator, founder.
Okay.
I don't know if he's passed it on to somebody else.
Right.
But yeah, he created that channel.
So I don't know much.
Can I touch on one more thing with Doug?
Yeah, please.
Doug, I've been in the Coast Guard for a very long time, and I know that you're headstrong, and I know you could battle the biggest of battles. I know you can, but let me tell you this as a former Coast Guard guy, you don't have the experience, dude, when it comes to diving. Please don't fool yourself that you do. I know that you count your hours and how many dives you have. It's not the amount of time you spend underwater. It's the amount of time you think about diving. And that takes years. That takes many cases of you coming to near death or close injury situations. Sam's been diving for 10 years. And when I was in Washington with him, for the first time ever, his face mask broke and he handled it the wrong way. I've seen you on videos dive to 100 feet with a non-instructor, and that non-instructor was Jared. I know very little about diving. If I was there, I would have stopped it from you diving 100 feet. Do not carry a YouTube channel to dive where you're the lead. Please, let's hire somebody else to be the lead. The way I can say, if anybody watches Deadliest Catch, the Canora, what's the name of that boat that those two sons took over, and one of them is in jail now for drugs?
I've seen that show before.
So their dad died, who was the owner of the boat and the driver of the boat. The son didn't automatically jump into the captain's seat. He hired a captain. And that was to be the safest person on the water. Do the same thing. If you're going to take over this channel or take over a channel to do this, put somebody else in that main diver seat. Don't take it, because you're going to kill yourself and probably hurt other people. And I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah, and yeah, I definitely don't think it would be good if like he somehow like if he took over. He seems like from that last video I saw, like maybe he was gonna go his own separate way. Hey, he people love him. The people that support him, they do love him from what I've seen in the comments and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe he could do his own thing. I mean, I'm not in that field, so I don't know. You don't believe he could, but definitely, yeah, you know. And well, and the other thing I want to say too, I'm glad you kind of came on, and I know you guys have had your differences, but people were wondering too if this guy maybe had known, but he seems to have very strong feelings about that. So there's no way in hell this guy would be cool knowing that.
Yeah,
and
100% of everybody that's watching this, please believe that Doug is
that's what matters.
Nowhere even a smidgen into that type of crap. No,
right.
No.
Okay.
He's had a shady past before, but I can tell you that if that would have, I'm sure that if Doug would have known on the road, Jared would have been in the hospital because Doug would have beat the shit out of him.
Okay. Somebody, unsupervised maniacs asked, "What did you think about Doug's video? If you saw it,
the one where he came out
just
today or yesterday,
yeah, where he talked about the code.
It was real. It was serene. It was, it was heartfelt. There's a little bit of that video that I feel he's protecting his future too. I can't blame him for that. He needs an income,
right?
But it was definitely surreal. Doug would not touch any part of that. Yeah, I'll reiterate. If Doug would have found out with Jared on the road, Jared would be in the hospital. Okay, because Doug would have beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I think that's really important because that's a big thing to put on somebody, and people were wondering. However, people feel about Doug, that's important to know. So, another question. Okay, we're going to check out. Let's see. I had seen this somewhere. I don't know where it is, but somebody had said, damn it, I just lost a thought. It was with regards to Kylie.
I do it all the time.
It was a Kylie thing. They wanted to ask you something, but I know I already asked about that if you thought they hyped it up.
They did hype it up.
Yeah.
If anybody's wondering, yeah, they hyped it up.
Okay.
Nobody's not at fault, a part of that team, for hyping that up too. I'm not going to not call a spade a spade. There's nobody on that team that's not at fault.
Right. The thing is, what I want to know too, and I'm going to have to clarify this with Anthony, because he had said that like Jared had mentioned something about his past, but I don't know if it was vague. Was it like whatever? And then that email too, if you saw in that email exchange, it said that people in the office knew. I just wonder if like Jared, and I know you don't know for sure, but like I wonder if Jared was like lying and manipulating this person to have her believe that everybody
there's
in the office.
There's nobody in the office, dude.
Okay.
There's nobody. There's probably another person reading the emails and that's it, but there's no goddamn office.
Wow.
He controls and sees everything. I remember when I was bitching about one of the comments on my videos. I mean, you're, as a YouTuber, you know this better than anybody. You're going to have those keyboard warriors.
Right.
It's part of the game. I remember I was laughing, making fun of, bitching about one of the comments. And Jared's like, I don't read comments. I haven't read comments in a long time. And next hour, he's over there flipping through all the comments. And he's like, this person said something bad about you. And I go, Jared, I thought you didn't read comments. He's like, well, yeah, sometimes I do. No, he read every single one of them.
Okay.
Every one of them. He was always on his phone or computer.
Did you know, I mean, this is this whole tow truck driving situation with the Kylie story and AWP, you have any idea? Do you know if that was made up or was he hired or he was a real, like, he's obviously a real person, but do you know anything about that or no?
Tow truck driving? I'm not 100% familiar with I didn't watch all the videos with that because once it started to be clickbait, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So yeah, we'll leave that on because
I don't know. I just know that she was at a party. She was missing. She was found in the water.
Right. Yeah. All right. Any other questions, guys? Let me see if I got anything else here. Let's see. And I really appreciate you coming on. And people told me about the code too. The chat was spamming it, so I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're talking about.
You can say it out loud, and I'll give you a look.
They were saying prison code, and I'm not going to judge somebody for, I mean, as long as it's nothing like what we're talking about with Jared, people change their life and stuff. But I totally understand that why he said Doug the way he said things in that video. And I was kind of wondering myself if he knew too, because based off of what Anthony said, but now talking to you, it's like, now it's at least that aspect. I'm like, okay, there's no way this guy knew, because he would have flipped.
So I could iterate on this. Nug, myself, Britt, Anthony, a couple other people. We've spent many times at a bar, restaurant, or hot tub in Tennessee, and a lot of things were discussed. So if Anthony said something, I'm pretty sure he's telling the truth. Because there was a lot of, when the alcohol hits you, a lot of people talk.
So I'm gonna definitely talk with him again and kind of clarify that with Anthony. And he seems like a good guy too, Anthony. That's the only person. Guy. Yeah,
100% great guy. Yeah.
Okay, good. Any other questions, guys? Completely unexpected, but kind of like that too. You know what? Just you coming on. I had no idea you were going to come on, or the
what? I battled with this decision watching a couple of your videos and some other people's videos. I talked to Sam about it, and I said, "What if Dr. Phil calls you and wants you to be on his channel?" And I'm not going to discuss what Sam and I discussed privately, but I can tell you this, that I was going to send Sam a text the next day or a phone call saying, if you're going to go, I'm going to go there to protect you.
Right.
So that's a future. That's a reality. The reality is that when you have 3 million subscribers on YouTube and you're all over the place and you have this astronomical of a situation happen, you're going to see every large media jump on this because it's clickbait.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm kind of surprised still. Somebody had mentioned, so let me just get this. Granny Vroom Room said, "Hey dude, there's a major election going on right now. Media's pretty busy," which I still say they have so many sources of people, they could just make an article. But I'm kind of shocked so far that it's catching on, but it still hasn't blown up. Do you have any thoughts about that? Like maybe why
November 30th, you'll see it everywhere.
Oh, okay. The trial.
Yeah, you'll see it everywhere.
Okay. Somebody asked too, and this is another thing. Thank you, Kayla, for reminding me. She says, "Is Nick still the AWP?" And I also wanted to ask you, have you ever spoken with Nick? Do you know the guy? Never met him.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's a lie. I met him once.
Okay.
At Jared's house. And it was like maybe in passing.
Okay.
I think that's Nick. I can't remember.
Okay. Okay. I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Yo, thank you so much, man, for coming on and like trusting me, because I know like the internet's just kind of crazy and rough. And thank you for giving me your time, and SamSam for being in the chat. And if you need anything, well, with regards to YouTube or any kind of whatever, just reach out to me. I don't know what your email is.
Why don't it's the nomoc experience, one word, at Gmail.
Okay.
Why don't you shoot me an email real quick, and I'll just give you my phone number. So if you ever want to text me saying, "Can we discuss this?" Okay. I'll 100% come up because I don't toy around with this subject. This subject, I even told Sam this. I'm like, people who do this, they're not human beings. They are no longer human beings to me. You can make mistakes when it comes to manslaughter, when it comes to murder, fraud, tax evasion, the big wigs of things to do. When it comes to this subject, which is all alleged right now, but we all have seen the stuff you put up when it comes to the emails. At that moment for me, I'm no longer talking about a human being.
Right.
That's beyond. I'm not even going to try to describe it. I put it this way. When I was a police officer, I worked in, for one, the inner city schools, but I also worked in the inner city hospitals. And I was known for never going to the ICU for children. Like, because we had to do rounds. You do rounds in the burn unit. You do rounds in the ER. You do rounds in, but peds ICU, I wouldn't do rounds. I have a soft spot in my heart for kids. The reason why, I'll give you a little insight, is in the Coast Guard, I carry a lot of stuff from what I've seen kids go through and just, recreational boating. So I think that is what drove me into, you don't screw with dogs, you don't screw with kids. No pun intended, but you don't hurt dogs, you don't hurt kids. If you do, you're not a human being to me.
All right. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming on. I sent you an email with my number, so just text me sometime. And I really appreciate you giving insight and I think even being fair, because even though you guys had a fallout, you and Doug, but you're just like, hey, this guy would never do this. Like, he would really feel some type of way about this. So you seem pretty fair all across. So thank you, man.
Yeah, if you guys can go show us. If Doug decides to take this route, I know that only how many people are watching? 3, 4, 5,000? I don't know.
5,000. Yeah.
That is seriously a percentage of what a subscriber count or a view count is needed. So people that watch us in the future too, Doug will have a very, very hard time creating a YouTube channel because of association with Jared. If he does, try to keep him out of it when it comes to this case, and just watch his content for what it's created for, which is helping families. Right. Even though I'm saying that 3,000 people, only probably 300 of them are going to take that to heart. Just the numbers of YouTube. Leave the people alone that don't need to be a part of this, and show support to them if they want to carry a torch. Unfortunately, reality is reality. I think, Doug, if you do, don't read the comments, dude. Don't read the comments.
Oh, yeah, it can be brutal sometimes.
Yeah, I would actually turn the comments off.
Yeah. A final question to Olivia, and I guess this is kind of question for Kevin. Is Jared a faithful husband?
I have no reason. I've never witnessed him not be faithful when it comes to another woman or person. I have known him not to be faithful with information and finances.
Okay. All right, Kevin, thank you so much again, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for taking your time to really explain things. I think you cleared up a lot of things for us. And it's true that the focus should be Jared, but I think you also cleared up, because like I said, I was hearing rumblings. People were saying, oh, Sam knew and that's why he left, and Doug knew and all this stuff. And so I'm glad you came out. I at least cleared that, one of the more, one of the more egregious things that people were saying, kind of shut that out.
100% my motivation is to give clarity to people who don't need to be in the crosshairs. I'm not motivated from anything besides that with me coming up here, because I know this is going to be everywhere on YouTube, and then by December be everywhere on mainstream media, and they're probably going to reference this video. My exit statement would be leave everybody else out of it when it comes to correlation, because nobody else knew.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll respond to that email, send you my message or my phone number, and we'll hopefully talk soon.
Okay. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. That's it, guys. Wow. Thank you guys so much. We're not done yet, but I was not expecting that for him to come on. I'm so glad that I had I should have told him happy birthday again. Somebody said happy birthday. I'm glad that I had my daughter at my mother's this evening, so it's nice. So the thing, I'm kind of like shocked still. But I'm really glad he came on, man, because I just couldn't I guess I can almost imagine it being falsely accused and stuff, right? Because I've been there. But however you feel about all these other people, I guess, yeah, the focus should be Jared. I totally understand why people are looking, because people are wondering, did this person know, did that person know? I mean, and email, it's just kind of, and I still got to ask Anthony, we're not, done with this story. And like he said, it's going to go to trial. But yeah, so Josh Cantu posted a video, right? I don't know what we should do next. Should we do Josh? I don't know. He said he's a really cool person, but I don't know that if I should play it. Maybe we could just listen to the audio. He's just talking. I'm going to put his face and I'm going to put the link to his video, or maybe we can just listen to some of it. I'm going to put his link, his thing. I really don't know, you know, I'm saying, because I don't want to take away from what he's doing. Over there. But if we could just listen to a little bit at least, and then I'm putting the link on his description. Josh Cantu. And another person, I put a bunch of channels in the description, man. So just, you know, take a little bit of effort, because I know sometimes me, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna subscribe, and I don't do it. Take a little bit of effort, click, go and subscribe, just to support some of the good people, you know, that are coming out and like standing against it or separating themselves. You know, I'll play a few minutes, and then maybe that'll, you know, people can go check that out after.
Just wanted to be real with you guys, and I wanted to take a moment to try to address the issue that should have been addressed by now, which we were all hoping for better leadership in this, which is why I have officially resigned from being part of the search team, which I don't need to mention. It's pretty obvious that I have been a part of in the past. I will live my life with integrity and morale, and knowing that I did the right thing and made the right decision, which I hope you guys can support.
And check this out. I'm only going to play a few minutes. I hope he's okay with that. Just going to play a few minutes, and then for people that want to watch the rest, they can watch it there. I still have to talk about, too, I forgot. We still got to talk about this. If there's one thing I should do before we get out of here, too, is I want to talk about this whole topic of the trusts and the houses that, or housing that he bought, and like what's in the family's trust and whatever thing. And there's like a long form on Reddit, and I was supposed to have level-headed on. I forgot to. Everything kind of got sidetracked. There's this whole long thing. This could be in a video in itself, honestly. But let's see if we can get that done too. Oh, and what I meant to say. Oh, P.S. says he's insinuating that Jared doesn't have them in an NDA. They gave him a non-complete, so they can't just start another channel. Interesting. They cannot operate in the same space. Ooh, that actually makes sense. P.S. Are you talking about that's what Josh was talking about? Because the thing I was going to point out is that Josh here in the community, the description, he says, I recorded this video November 8th, 2022. It's a 20-minute long video, or 20 minutes long, but released as a live premiere to start a community thread. It has minor edits to ensure I am not breaching NDA contracts. So everybody, it seems like at least, not everybody, but a lot of them, they're on some sort of, especially the paid people, I guess, on some sort of, and so you can imagine that's probably why, damn. The guy, Bishop, what's his name? How's this guy's video at? Okay, Doug Bishop. Too many thoughts going in my head. Doug Bishop had mentioned certain things, and like he has to watch, you know, obviously has to watch what he's saying. I think that's why he was somewhat vague.
Hey guys, Josh Cantu here with an update. You guys may know me for my behind the scenes content and my video work with the search team for the past year and a half. But there's some things that have been brought to the light that the team and I were not aware of, and not aware of until very, very recently. And
so he's saying he didn't know. Not only that, the team didn't know. Is what he's saying.
We're not okay with it. And it has created this avalanche of momentum, which it should have when it needed to, against certain things that allegedly have happened with someone that we trusted. It's currently Tuesday, November 8th, 11:14. And I just wanted to come on here and try to tell you about Josh Cantu. So I'm not going to be speaking about
okay.
the things that one of our members and may be going through, because I'm not allowed to, which is fine. It's not my place, which is why I have officially resigned from being part of the search team, which I don't need to mention. It's pretty obvious, that I've been a part of in the past. If you are unaware of what is going on right now, that is because it has not hit the mainstream yet, because it is not proven yet in court, which is fine. And I'm not here to tell you if it is or is not true, because I personally do not know, and it's not my business to talk about. But what I do know is that my reaction and the reaction of my teammates are not going to be sticking around to find out. We are pretty set on sticking to our morals, to our integrity, especially as fathers and just decent human beings. But I do want to say that I do not condone the activities that have been reported. And I think that justice needs to be served.
Okay. So I'm not going to play the video, but you guys can definitely check out. It doesn't look like he's going to talk too much on the situation, but he's separating himself and he's talking about himself. And so people are interested in that. It's good to check out. So Josh Cantu, I'll put that here. Again, I put his link to, I think, the video. I'll put the link to his video in the description. Definitely go and check that out. P.S. Thank you for the super chat. It says it's very common in business. He is in an NDA, but read his pinned tweet. He says there's no starting another channel. Oh, okay. There's a non-complete. I'm in one now. There's usually a year or two. Very interesting. I remember for a company that I worked for, it was a tech company. It was in the medical field because I used to be a pharmacy tech, but they also were a technology company at the same time because it was like insurance and like auditing and prescriptions, but there was like a whole technical side as well. And they made me sign some type of thing. It was just for like not sharing their company secrets and like, you know, inside information, stuff like that. It wasn't anything like super major. And I feel like there was some sort of like competitive thing there. Like you can't leave for another company that's in the same field or something like that, or for a certain amount of time. I thought I did do something like that. Okay, the next thing, we're already at 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours. We're going to get to the trust thing, but just really quickly. This is something 2 months ago that somebody had commented and said, anyone else notice or anyone else concerned about AWP's video titles becoming more clickbaity / dramatic? I'm an avid watcher of AWP for over a year. I'm just wondering if anybody else has noticed this or if I'm overreacting. I've seen more videos in the past month titled in more clickbaity, sensationalized, and unsubstantiated ways than ever used. And they give some examples. Kylie Ronnie video is titled Murder or Accident. And the one question I meant to ask, I forgot to ask Kevin, was about I was reading some. I need to stop looking at my phone. Was about the whole. No, I just forgot. I forgot. I don't even know what I was gonna say. The Julissa video titled "Kidnapped." The Bob Estep video titled "Was 69-year-old Bob Estep murdered, or was it simply an accident?" And the Stephen Macro video titled "Bullet Holes Found Shot in Car." It feels weird. I'm not gonna go into the whole thing, but it's just kind of interesting because people that have been watching them for a long time, they've noticed a change, even in the editing of videos or titling or just even the production. I imagine Jared still has a lot to do with the video title / direction of the editing and production. Which he made a good point as far as, you know, they're just probably doing what they're told to do. You know, it could be just Jared saying, you need to do this or do that, you know? Okay. Oh, I forgot about this too. Somebody had sent me this. And you know what? I don't even think we need to get into this anymore because Josh Cantu already made a video. The internet was talking about, there was this cryptic message, and let me see who sent me the actual post. The internet, they watch everything. Let me just save this real quick. I haven't even really read it, but the internet saw this post, and they were saying it's cryptic message. Reddit caught onto it, and they were saying, a few days ago, I financed a used truck, a shiny 2016 Ford F-150, a true investment into having a vehicle I can depend on and trust for my business and family. However, there were so many things the dealership did not disclose that I learned after I signed for the truck. Oh, it is kind of cryptic though. It is. I didn't read it. Yo, if this, wow. Wow. Okay, let's start again. A few days ago, I financed a used truck, a shiny 2016 Ford F-150, a true investment into having a vehicle I can depend on and trust for my business and family. However, there were many things that the dealership did not disclose that I learned after I signed for the truck. When you're under the impression of a clean title, finding out the vehicle history after the fact is unacceptable and shocking. As I work truck, I will make do with the situation I've been dealt legally. What do you guys think? That's dope as hell. Wow. Okay, now okay. All right, I see what you guys are talking about. I was kind of like, cryptic. What? He just bought a car? Because I only read like the first sentence and I stopped because I was rushing to get the stream going. And okay, I see you. I see the internet. That was smart. I like that. Okay, let's see. And then it says here, also to be clear about my truck post, we are all shocked and appalled by the situation as a family. We did not see any paperwork previously, and the paperwork that comes into the dealership is only seen by the guy with the biggest office and his specific paperwork sorter, which is indeed not anyone that has been in my truck. I will no longer be doing business with this dealership, but need to be sure I double check the fine print of my truck purchase, for it was very detailed. Bruh. I like this guy. I don't know him, but I like him. So, damn, that's kind of crazy. I can imagine like really being in a situation like that where like people you're involved with. Because I had that little NDA thing, but nothing happened with the company I was with, right? So I could imagine you're with some company and then like the head guy comes out with all this, and it's not a big company. It's like they're big in the essence of following, but like the actual amount of people there's like a lot smaller. So it's more, I guess, personal. You know, so people look at the people around the person that's being, mentioned or the allegations. This was when it was sent to me. This one says 9 hours ago. The other one said 13 hours ago. So it was a while ago. It was today though, because I saw my friend sent me this on. It's funny how Reddit catches on. That's the other thing you got to realize. There's social media, especially if you're involved in a story. These people are watching Josh Cantu's cryptic message, probably because he's under some sort of NDA. That's the thing. Anthony has been telling. We gotta talk to Anthony. I don't know. Should I call Anthony? I don't know if he's okay, or maybe we can talk some other time. Let me just see if he's willing to just say something on air or not, as far as clarification. And then we'll get to this next one here. Hey. Good. I was just curious about. All right, he said he's pulling up to his house. He's gonna call me in 5 minutes, and he said he's okay saying something for the live about that. So we'll just start. Let me see. The last thing, I almost don't even know if we have time for this, or if I should just leave this for another stream. I guess we should just, and then we're gonna have to interrupt it when Anthony calls back. I mean, we might as well do it since everybody's here, right? Gonna be a lot of reading, so sorry for you guys. I apologize. I need a reader. If I could just like one day, if I make it big, I'm gonna like just hire a reader. Just call him. Hi Mel. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna read for you. Nobody likes you reading. Question for someone smarter than me: did Jared and his wife in July sign an adjustable rate mortgage for $647,200 on a $1.2 million house near his current place? This was a post from 2 months ago. Can someone please tell me that I'm wrong? And it looks like his current tract home was transferred from his and his wife's name to a trust under their names. So they didn't sell it, question mark. So where did they come up with $500K to pay the difference? Am I totally understanding this wrong? I've put my trust in this man. I've given him money. And a lot of people are upset. People that have like put money, you know what I'm saying? And some people, they're sending money. They don't really have much money, or they're, you know, check to check or making ends meet, but they feel like they're doing the right thing. You come to find this out. And so it says, ETA, I think the Leisek family trust may have been started by his grandparents, and Jared and Kay are listed as trustees. I'm really not sure how trusts work. Maybe someone has insight. Jared and his wife, the grantors, sold/conveyed it to the Leisek family trust on June 14, 2022 for a consideration of $0. Why this is important is the timing, right? Like it's like he knew this was coming. He's preparing, possibly. Just my thought. I don't know. Just allegedly. And then it says, edit, I removed the links to the county clerk's website. I didn't feel right to post them. People can do the research easily enough. And it says, appears to be a lot to unpack here, just speculation, and to have a conversation. There are clearly two trusts, Leisek Family Trust and Robert and Kathy Irby Trust. Jared's family home was put in the Leisek Family Trust. I guess they're protecting their property, their assets. And the new $1 million plus house was put into Irby Trust. Some use trust to hide. I mean to protect assets. If ever gets sued, these assets are protected. They are not something he directly owns. Having lost everything 3 times now, it's probably a smart thing, and he seems to be learning from the past. It's interesting they were able to transfer ownership of the houses to the trust. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't even know you could do that. Yes, it can be done, but it requires approval from the bank holding the lien. It's not in the bank's interest to do this. The bank probably holds the account for his media company as well. Ooh. It also states that the Leisek family are the tenants of the $1 million property. I'm sure there are individuals that understand what's going on here. I'm sad, really. I hope it didn't seem like I was being rude. I think conversations like this are good for getting to the bottom of things. I definitely have thoughts as to his ethical behavior in past and current businesses. You and I are on the exact same page regarding your questions as to whether or not he could be using his various LLCs and trusts in ways that aren't exactly truthful. And obviously, it's not wild speculation for us to suggest that. I do try to avoid getting too specific unless I have evidence, though. It's the investigative journalist in me, so I suppose my main concern is the current issue of the major purchase he made recently and how it was paid for. Has he misappropriated donations sent from viewers? It's a legitimate question. It is. Imagine that you're sending all these donations. I mean, it depends what, I guess, the intention, people that are sending money, sending money. But just imagine like you're paying this guy's legal fees or something unintentionally, like this guy now he's going to have to go to court, trial, whatever. And he's like taking that money to, fight back the alleged victim. I haven't drawn conclusion because I don't have enough data. I'm not lecturing here. I'm thinking out loud. Please know that. He takes a salary from AWP. It's not a controversial fact. He deserves to be compensated for his work as any of us would. Edit, it becomes controversial if he turns out he's taking a higher salary. That's what's reasonable. Then what's reasonable? I have tried to come up with scenarios where $552K in cash would not have come from AWP money. All I can come up with is either they won a lottery jackpot, which, by the way, the Powerball is really high. I think nobody still won. I played yesterday. It's like almost 2 billion. Won a lottery jackpot, or someone gifted it to them. I consider other business income under Treasury LLC, but I think it's unlikely. He was broke, or at least claimed to be, when he started his AWP channel. So I don't think there is real income from his non-AWP media ventures. So let's assume that the only thing they have to pay for is mortgage, which would be $3,425 a month, along with other monthly expenses. I was generous with the monthly income and conservative with the outgoing expenses because it's important to me not to be biased. Scenario 1, he pays himself $150,000 a year. That is 2 times the average median income for his area. Plus I threw in an extra $20K, which I know it's got to be way more than that, I'm thinking, but that's just the scenario. Let's assume that this is a 2-income household and the second income is $75K. This is the median income with an extra $10K thrown in. We'll put the monthly expenses, including the mortgage, at $5,500. This is crazy conservative, and I can't imagine that it's possibly accurate. After taxes, and I didn't take out local, that is a net of $12,375 a month. The math works here, but again, only if the cash down payment came from somewhere other than AWP donations. On this side here, edit, I misread the tax rate on the IRS site. The monthly would be around $10K. If you bump their outgoing expenses to a reasonably conservative figure of $7,000, and that doesn't include any type of retirement funding, additional debt payments, they may have credit cards, personal loans, car payments, they can still probably manage. I think it's putting them into overextended territory, but that's their problem, not ours. Of course, I'm going to reply back to this. Thank you for the text. I'm going to write them back after. Scenario 2, keep the 150K gross annual income and eliminate the second one. The math falls apart here and I can't make it work. There is no way the outgoing income exceeds the incoming. ETA just tossing some numbers out there. I think they probably need to be making at least 225K gross to make it work again. Okay. Let's just skip to this part right here. Another thing that caught my eye was the buy, sell, buy back and of the Remond property that is in the trust. The house was bought 9/6/2000, then sold to a family member in December 12, 2002. But at the height of the housing bubble, he bought it back for 20K less. Then he sold it 4 years earlier. Surely that wasn't market/tax value at the height of the bubble. Yes, families sell properties to other family members, but it's not sold as tax assessment value. Then usually someone is paying a gift tax for the difference as it is no different than from someone giving you cash. Maybe they did it. Again, nothing legal, but clearly a pattern here to buying, reselling, and buying. Another important thing is this Sam and Dan. What they have said can't be discounted. I find them both to be credible, and that's saying something coming from me. What did they say? Oh, here's the original videos. I might have some time, maybe need a real estate person sometime to just come and break it down. They can pull up all the records and, break it down. The one thing I will say, I'll let you finish. Okay, Anthony, you can call it. I'm done. Thanks, bro. You call me and then I'll put you on speaker and everybody will hear you. Just to clarify, because I'm seeing on the internet and the video I posted earlier, it's like somebody knew AWP, according to what he said. Or I could just call you. Let me just call Anthony. Let's see. I heard it. Oh shit, did I do FaceTime? I don't want FaceTime. I just want to call. Okay. Hey.
Hey, how's it going, Mel?
Good. You're on live stream. Everybody can hear you.
All right.
Can you explain just the situation from when we spoke the first time on stream about, whether people knew or not, or like what you knew? And I know you said you misspoke at one part as far as the charges.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that I personally was not aware of charges or the indictment, but I was aware of some. That's what was
aware of
told
what?
to me. Some allegations, some past allegations, to use his terminology. Jared spoke to me May of 2022 when he offered me the job and told me I could hear some possible allegations, is what he told me. And then he went in to try to tiptoe around the exact allegations, but basically said there was some past history inside his family, that I might hear some past allegations against him, but it wasn't anything that I should be worried about, and that was it.
Okay, so you didn't know like specifically what? You didn't know it was like a child thing or something like that, right?
No, nothing about any sexual assault or anything like that. It was just simply some past allegations. I didn't know to the extent of what those allegations were.
Okay, yeah, guys, this is Anthony. This is Anthony from Anthony. Was it 1994? NY 1994, right? XWAB.
Anthony 1994 NY. Yes.
NY. Okay.
That's my Twitter handle.
Okay, I think it's really important to clarify that too, because I didn't even think about it. It almost makes it sound like you or other people knew specifically that it was child charges, but there was rumors or something of some sort of allegation, but we don't know what, I guess.
Correct, and I can't speak for any other team members or employees of AWP, but that's what was told to me in May of this year, when I didn't sign on to start until middle of September. I signed the contract end of July. I wasn't supposed to start till middle of September of this year. But he brought that up to me back in May, which was only a couple of months after those emails went back and forth. So I'm not sure. I was thinking that it was those emails were fresh. He wanted to get ahead of the curve by giving me a heads up that I may hear something. So I was one of a few new employees being hired on at the time to start to work in the second RV that he was putting on the road. And I can't speak for them, but I can only assume that if he gave me the heads up, why wouldn't he have given any of the new employees the heads up about anything, let alone any past employees? But again, I can't speak for them.
Right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So when you were coming on, Jared had kind of given you the heads up that, there might be something coming or some sort of allegations, but you had no idea what. And this is you knew just come. I mean, you did volunteer work before, but then he was getting ready to hire you. And
this email or these correspondence between Jared and I happened after I finished up all the volunteer work, which was April of 2022. Was when I helped them solve the James Amabile case in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia. So I worked a couple other cases with them that month, but after that, I went back home, they went back on the road, and then there was discussion between myself, Doug, and Jared based on how complicated that recovery was, that me and Doug felt safe working with each other in those dangerous environments, and we built a repetition together. So there was talks from that last outing of working with them to bring me on full time, and those discussions lasted up until, I want to say, I guess July, when he actually offered me the job with the contract and a non-disclosure agreement I signed. Which I can only assume it's the same non-disclosure that the other employees signed.
And the chat's asking, do you still have the contract, or did he keep that? Or?
Oh, absolutely. I have every email correspondence from myself to Jared, myself to AWP, from the first initial email when I emailed him to help volunteer for the first time. I still have all those documents, contracts, everything.
Wow.
All the proof. I have it all. So everything I'm saying, I can back up with documents, whether it's phone calls, text, emails, contracts that I signed, or physical footage that is on his YouTube channel. It could all be backed up.
And they're asking, did you sign it? You probably didn't sign it, right? Or
no, I did. I signed the employee contract, and I signed a non-disclosure and sent it back to him on July 30th, or July 29th and July 30th.
And for some reason, he didn't take you on. That was the whole thing too we were talking about, right? He didn't.
Correct, because from, I think it was, I can look through the text, but it was sometime after May. I want to say it was May, because that's when he told me about these allegations, and he was telling me what he was going to pay me, telling me the details of the working scope, and that's when I had agreed to it, but nothing came of it on paper until August or July, end of August, beginning of July. So I started buying different scuba gear and different equipment so I could then match, and all our gear would be interchangeable for redundancy. And I spent, $3,500 on scuba gear. And I also put my 2-week notice in on my job. And then if it wasn't for me to reach back to them in the beginning of September to say, hey, finished my travel details. When am I starting? Supposed to be the 17th. That's when I found out that I was no longer going to be working with them. If I didn't reach out to that day, they wouldn't have told me until when? Start date? So that's how that ended for me with AWP.
PS is asking, and I'm sure we're going to have probably more conversations and stuff like that, but PS is asking, is there a clause in the contract or NDA dealing with competing?
Yes, absolutely. There is. So for why other people may not be able to just turn around and start up a new YouTube channel with other characters and just start doing the same thing, one of the main hurdles other than financial would be a non-compete.
Right.
If that's the case, again, I don't know the actual legal stipulations of that, meaning can they go do something on their own, or can they package it in a different way to circumnavigate the non-compete and still get the mission done? Or
people are kind of wondering too, would you be willing to one day, I know we kind of talked about possibly, doing things. They want to know if one day you'd be willing to put the contract up or something. Do you have any legal obligation? I mean, I know you signed it, but then he didn't fulfill his end, right?
No, but there could be legal ramifications.
Right. I want you to be good, for sure. I don't want you to put yourself in a situation.
I could promise that once everything is all said and done from this, or once the dust does settle, I can definitely give you a contract. Obviously, I will redact personal information, addresses, and details, but other than that, you can get a full version of the contract, and then employment contract and a non-disclosure. I have no problem publicly supplying that.
Okay. Piece from Denise says, is there anything in the contract about possible allegations coming up in the future? I don't even know if you can talk about that.
Of course not.
No, okay.
No, there would definitely not.
Okay.
There was no allegations in the contract at all. Nothing stipulating or pointing to any legal justice ramifications he might have been facing.
Okay.
But I will say though, since everything has come to light and you can sit back and draw stock on what you're seeing, it does seem like these allegations, obviously he was aware in February with the emails, but that was, to me, one of the main reasons why he pulled himself away from in front of the camera, even though the public answer was he wanted to spend more time with his family and less time on the road. And that was the reason for him not being there, and that's why they called me out in April to help. And now, with all coming together, I think he was just trying to not be in front of the camera as much because he didn't know what would be the outcome.
All right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you talking to me. We need to talk again, maybe in a couple, 2 hours or so. I'm going to end this now, but in about an hour or two, we'll talk again for sure. Yeah, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. And they've vouched for you too. Well, Kevin did. So they know you're good guys.
I know Kevin well. Like I said, I met these guys. That's when I first met them, was in Tennessee. You know, Britt from Depths of History, Nug, Exploring with Nug, Kevin, all of these guys that came in and all volunteered and helped. They were all good people. That's all they wanted to do was help and do something good. And yeah, did it help some of them out by increasing their traffic to their YouTube channel? Of course. That's what Jared wanted. He told everybody to say, hey, come on in, we'll do collaborations, and it'll help not only myself, but you guys as well. And it did. And it brought a lot of people to awareness to what they were doing. And it did help a lot of people. And that's how I met these guys. And they were all good guys. None of these guys had a bad bone in their body. None of them gave me any inclination that they weren't good people based on how they treated fans, how they acted to hotel staff behind the camera or behind closed doors in the hotel rooms. There were jokes, there were, things that we did and said, but nothing that put up any red flags to say, hey, these guys are bad people, or they had anything other motive other than trying to grow their YouTube channel or become more popular, I guess. That was, to me, their only motive.
All right, man. Well, thanks. I appreciate it, Anthony. We'll definitely talk a little bit more later. Thank you. I just wanted to give you a chance to, and so we can come on and kind of clear that up a little bit. You know, because sometimes, especially, that's why I don't like doing things live sometimes, but you know, we got to do it live sometimes. But sometimes things get taken out of context, or you say something and then, you know, people can kind of take it as another. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, man.
Thank you for the time. And I just want to say thank you to you and your viewers. Like I said, I'm an open book. I got nothing to hide here. I just want to not speak for other people and let them tell their story, because everybody has a different story. And I just want the truth, whether it's my truth or to hear other people's truth. It helps to put the pieces together, get a bigger picture of what's going on and why this happened and how people can prevent this from happening in the future. Because this is a horrible situation. And
yeah, for sure.
I don't condone this any bit whatsoever. And it's a very sad situation, but I'm a firm believer in you should pay for your actions no matter when those actions happen. And that's just how I feel. It's horrible.
Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
You too. Bye. Okay. Wow. What a day. So, I guess what I want to get the super chats that have kind of missed some of them, and maybe we'll pass the stream over to somebody to share the love. Let's see how much time we got. 5 minutes. So this guy, maybe we could pass the love over to, we can raid his stream. Exploring with Nug is going live in 5 minutes. So let me just go through these kind of quick if I can. The super chats. Thank you again, guys, so much for coming on. And thank you to Anthony and Kevin and like all the people in the chat that came through, Sam. And I wasn't completely expecting this at all. And we're at 3 hours in because I really had a lot that I wanted to share with you guys. And thank you for the people that sent me information and Flossie earlier too. We were talking and just everybody. That's it. Diggs, Katrina, everybody. Thank you so much. I know they're probably missing some people. Nate, 2 hours ago, seriously, lack of moral responsibility on YouTube and just in general. This is in this upside down world. Thankful for you, Mel. Nate, thank you so much. I saw your Cash App the other day. I rarely check it. So the other day I'm like, let me just go look. And I saw you sent me a really nice message. So thank you so much for that. Bob Piffle says, bring on Nomac. Great, genuine guy, close with Sam. Got that one. Katie, thank you for the 20-month membership. Oh my God. Keep being you, Mel. We love you for your integrity, morals, ethics, and personality. You'll always put victims first. Keep being amazing. Thank you, Katie. Jennifer, 10-month membership, over 4K watching. Hit the like. Yeah, before we get out of here, please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. P.S. Thank you. Realification. My resignation with AWP is premiering on Josh Cantu's channel in 14 minutes. This camera guy there. I put his video link in the description, and we're going to go send some love over to Exploring with Nug in a second here. Diggs, I tagged Nomac's channel on Twitter as well. Thank you. I'm going to retweet it when I'm done with this. Twin Flame, thank you for becoming a member. MH, thank you. Jazz, thank you for the super chat and all the help too with thumbnails and information. Laura P, question for Kevin. I'm kind of rushing. Oh, I already got this. Already got that. The family microphone thing. I got that too. She thanked Kevin. Again, thank you to really nice guy, man. Thank you, Kevin, so much for coming on. Who said Kate, thank you for the super chat. Run this world. I got that already. Thank you so much for the super chat. Jennifer, wow, this is very interesting. I know you're telling me. Thank you for the super chat. Diggs, Semper Pratis, thanks for coming from a Coasty fam. Oh, yeah. Coast Guard. Faith Fit Fun, Code Prison Code, Prison Justice for Cuomo's. Granny Room, we got that. Thank you so much for the super chat. PS says he's insinuating that Jared doesn't have them in an NDA. They gave him a non-complete, so they can't start another channel. Okay, they cannot operate in the same space. That's tough, man. Yeah, that puts him in such a. But then I wonder, and some people were saying, doesn't this just these allegations that are going on, isn't it enough to void, or does he have to be like convicted in order for it to void some of these contracts? Is there any stipulations for that? Cat Z86, thank you for the super chat. Susanna, wow, I normally don't get this many super chats, so thank you guys. Susanna, Jared owns the Compound Dance Complex in Redmond, Oregon. I wonder if there are more victims from his dance studio, allegedly. Yeah, I don't know. Amber, to the victims of JL, allegedly, I'm devastated that you endured such pain and trauma the way you had. To Doug and all who worked alongside with JL, I stand by you always. Please know many are by you. A career woman, there may be an exit opportunity for a non-complete due to current allegations coming to light. Lots of things were done under false pretenses. Casey Roku says, with tears in my eyes, thank you for showing me and the world who you really. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so let me forward the stream. Yo, I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. I think you made some really good points too, Kevin, about like being a YouTuber. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of times I kind of slide as far as like under the radar. I don't even really have that business mentality. I've been trying to get myself into it because, yeah, I do this for a living. I got to sustain myself. But like, you know, I don't like send a super chat. Most of the time it's like one super chat. Sometimes, a lot of times it's nothing. Oh, this guy doesn't have damn. He doesn't have the rating option enabled. Let me see. Can you enable option? If he doesn't enable it, then I'll just put the link in the chat and we can all go there. He might not be watching his chat. Let me try again. This is like a new YouTube thing. It's a new option, and so a lot of people aren't aware of this. And so they don't have the option that you can just go, like, I can transfer everybody from here to over there. You have to like manually go and enable it. Let me try again. Let's see. Damn, that sucks, man. I got to tell all these YouTubers, like, hey, man, you got to turn it on so we can support each other. And when we get off, send each other to each other's streams. You know? Let me try it again. No, it's not. Oh, that's unfortunate. I had that issue the other day too with Glare, but he turned it on now. I think Jared is watching. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if he's watching. Sonny, I sent you a video on Instagram. I found it creepy. All right, thank you. I'm gonna check it out. I don't know if he's live streaming or not.
On, guys.
What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drop the link. Everybody can go over there. Sorry, I wanted to transfer everybody, but I guess not this time. Drop the link in the chat. Yeah, there's some sort of tropical storm coming. I don't know what they're. I don't worry about, like, I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive because they got hit pretty hard up north, but unless it's like a 3 or 4, I'm really not like getting up and like going crazy. I've been here for so many years. Every time everybody goes crazy, I mean, and it really depends where it hits and all that. I'm just gonna go probably buy some water. That's it. I might even go to the beach. Last time we streamed on the beach, I might go to the beach. Oh shit, Jim Terry, what's up, man? It could attack. So yeah, go ahead, head over there, guys. I wish I could redirect, but I'm gonna have to start, you know, if possible, or maybe put out a PSA or something to let like YouTubers know we can enable now redirect publicly to anybody. Did you really? You called it out? Oh Lord. Lord. Poor Charlotte got hit bad? Really? Are you talking about the storm right now? Jim, I gotta get off, man, because I gotta go pick up my daughter. And we're at the 3-hour mark. We should talk, though. I know you've been... I got another phone. I haven't even told people. Let me tell him again. I don't want to mess up his... If he's trying to... Can you turn on redirect?
Jared's been indicted on 2 charges, very serious charges, with come with some very.
Yeah, no, he's just focused on talking. So we'll just end the channel. The channel is Exploring with Nug. Exploring with Nug. Okay. Just go over the channel, say hi, leave a like. Hey, Lisa. I hope you're doing well. Sending love, Dev. I know we need a chase, man. It's just too much. And I have a feeling, I really have a feeling like this story is going to really turn out to be something else. It's going to turn out to be something else. And like I said, I've heard things and I've seen things behind the scenes that's kind of like making me, I don't know. And we have to be really careful. I have to be really careful what I say, how we approach this thing. And I'm really glad that Kevin came on and I cleared some things out. Let me see what we got going on. Depths of History is live as well. Okay, let's see if maybe we can transfer some people over there. I don't know if he has it enabled. Let's try. Depths of History. Can we send the love somewhere? I don't want to waste it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody go live. He's not live.
I actually see.
Depths of History is not live. Not live. Let's see. Subscriptions. And who knows? Maybe, like I said, maybe Jared bamboozled all these people. Maybe he tricked all these people. You know, maybe they're all just surprised and they don't know and shocked, and now they're having to distance themselves, and now they're stuck in this crazy situation. I've never had a bad feeling about AWP, the current people, until the Kylie situation. I just personally did not like how that was handled, and because it personally affected me, like the you know what I'm saying. And it's one thing having things to YouTube, but then when people are looking up your family, at one point these people are trying to find, somebody had said something about my daughter's school. Like when people start doing shit like that, you take it personal. So, and that's just on my level, but there were a bunch of other people that were accused. Then you had Jagger. Oh, I forgot the screenshots. I wasn't even done. Yo, I had so much prepared for you guys. I forgot. Jagger had made some comment. Jagger, I mean, the only time I ever looked at him sideways at first is when he did the first interview, and I was like, Jagger, you know, but it wasn't a witch hunt like a lot of these people do. These people did a witch hunt. But then I was like, nah, there's a, you know, because at first I thought maybe like, you know, maybe he was just like an ex that couldn't get over her, but then it's just an accident, man. People don't believe it. That's fine. They think it's sinister or whatever. They're going to think that forever. But, and not only that, people that I thought were cool turned on me too. And I'm glad for that. That's a blessing. When you have people like that, you don't want people like that. Or there's people that still emailing me to, hey, I'm blocked or whatever. Yeah, I don't want you around me. If you're going to lie about me and people are hunting down my family, looking into what school my kid goes into, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be cool with you. I don't want to, like, all these lies that people do, because people's lives were affected. I can only imagine. I didn't get the worst of it. There was other people that got the worst of it. But Jagger says here, not understanding you wanted Kylie to be found, or somebody commented under his post about this, because people, I guess people can't separate. And I, like I said, the focus should be this Jared guy. Not understanding you wanted Kylie to be found, not understanding you wanted Kylie not to be found. Why are you so against this? I don't know how many times you people would like me to readdress this question, but would it make you feel better if I made a more public statement in the form of a video? And a video would be cool, but the indecent people, the people that are the illogical people, the people that I don't even know what to describe them as, you know, they're not going to care. It doesn't matter what you say. I mean, it'll only be good for the people that are willing to listen or just be, you know, Interesting. Adventures of Purpose still won't talk to me privately. This was a recent post. So that was my thing that I didn't like, this Kylie thing. Before that, it's amazing that they found her and they found so many people before and after. But when they started doing this thing where they're entertaining, and be honest, they were wrong about a lot of shit. They were wrong about the car had to be in neutral because the wheels were spinning. It turned out that's not true, but they spoke about that as if it's a fact. If I don't know something, I'm not going to speak on it as if it's a fact. They're wrong about that. They're wrong about a bunch of other stuff too. I've seen some of the clips and stuff, and that's really what turned me off about that. I was just turned off because I was personally affected. And it's not just them. There was other psychos too, and some other YouTubers. And that's what I said, that like people's track record eventually is gonna catch up to them. Like if you're treating people shitty, you know, if you're targeting innocent people, you're targeting kids, the same people that claim to be advocates. But there's a lot of hypocrisy on YouTube. A lot of these domestic violence advocates are domestic violence abusers themselves. You know, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. So yeah. And, well, there's people too that, yeah, we're just, what they said, Alani said they led some of us on. Some of the stuff I understand, but like if you're believing the crazy stuff, oh, there's a color in my background, so I'm involved. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on. I don't think you can get that money back. I understand why being pissed off, but yeah, that's not gonna, I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. And so, I don't know. I really hope that the cousin / hero gets justice in trial. And I don't know, some of the conversations just over text, I never spoke to her on the phone. She just seems super sincere, sweet. And I think I'll leave it at that because I don't want to say anything beyond that with conversations. But just I can just tell you she's genuine for sure. Dive Talk. Hey, Dive Talk. Welcome. Dive Talk says, it seems like everyone in AWP team has left. It does seem like that, yeah. I'm glad that at least their people are leaving or making statements to whatever. I mean, that thing that Josh did was gangster, man. That statement that he made, I love how he did that. Like an analogy as a car dealership, some sort of contract with a car dealership with a car that he bought. That's amazing. And it all goes back to the whole full circle conversation, which I really think, I know they told me Glare was saying I was saying full circle and I haven't, but I think I got that from Cinema Shogun. And he's a good channel to check out too, man. Cinema Shogun, Down the Rabbit Hole News, Glare. Cinema Shogun, I first heard about him during, I think, Gabby Petito, and people were telling me good things about him. And then when this whole crazy situation happened, he took up for me, which surprised me because I wasn't expecting anybody to do it. But he did, and some other people did too. And then I started watching more of his videos. I like him. And some of the recent videos I've watched, crack me up. Crack me up. I was sitting in my kitchen in the laptop one day. I forgot which video it was that I watched. Yeah, I started watching some of his videos. And the good thing too, he does a lot of shorter content. So if you don't have time or whatever, you can go check out. He's doing a bunch of updates, but in smaller pieces. But some of this stuff got me cracking up. Dude's crazy. And then a friend of mine kept telling me, she's like, I think you're gonna like him. I think you're gonna like him. And then she even said that something about political, like you guys kind of have some similar political. I was like, really? I was like, I like the guy even more. Like I like him more. Even though I don't really talk politics anymore. Popcorn Planet too, Popcorn Planet, that guy, he's been good to me too. I'm super apprehensive about people because just because the internet. Popcorn Planet, he had so he did that domestic violence stream during the Gabby Petito thing, and I think he reached out to me during that time, and I was super suspicious of the guy because I didn't know him, and so I was just thinking like, I don't know, man. I really like to talk to somebody, actually have conversations before I just hop on their channel. I don't. Let me see if I can find it. Domestic violence. And so what happened at that time was he had a whole thing set, a whole show. He does a good production. He had a whole show set up. Domestic violence. And he was like, "Hey, come on! If you can come on, man, you come on." And he was literally like convincing me. I don't know where that stream is at. I think he actually at one point had *iCkEdMeL in the title. I don't know if it's still there. Let me see. Here it is. It was a really nice stream. And I almost wasn't going to go on just because I was paranoid. I almost wasn't going to go on because I was paranoid. And like, I don't know, like an hour before the stream, I'm telling him like, yo, can I at least talk to you on the phone? Because I don't know why I thought he was going to try to pull something out of me. I was like, can I talk to you on the phone? And he was like, all right. And then we spoke for like, I don't know, 5 or 20 minutes or something like that. And I was like, all right, I'll come on. But I was just apprehensive because I didn't know him. And I was like, kind of like, I don't know. And it turned out to be beautiful. And he raised a lot of money for domestic violence. And a bunch of people came on. Oh, Riley Lively was there. Duty Ron was there. Brian Enton, JB. I mean, that was amazing. We get to go. I remember, I think that's when I first heard of Brian Enton too. Brian Enton, then JB. See JB real quick. That was pretty cool. I never really seen something like that before with like the news media people coming on into a panel and stuff and hanging out. Oh, and Dog the Bounty Hunter, apparently, after I had left. I didn't see this part. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. The beard thing is kind of new. Kind of new. It's not on Doug's level. I can imagine growing something like that, like all the way down here. That takes time and patience. He probably has to have like an oil regimen, a daily oil regimen. Oh, I like Lamont on the Run too. I like him, but I feel like one day I could end up on one of his videos too, because I see he goes for YouTubers. But I actually like his content. There's something about the scenery and then him just doing a voiceover, talking over it. Did he really? No, I think Lamont credited Glare, I thought. Unless I heard wrong, I think he credited Glare. Some people thought it was Glare, but it was me. But it wasn't. That whole thing happened because another person named Lena had passed the information to, damn it, Level-Headed. It's too many people, man. Passed it to Level-Headed, and then Level-Head passed it to me, and I think he passed it to Cinema Shogun. And I jumped on it. Like I sat down and I looked over the documents first. I didn't just like, boom. You know, I read the stuff. I wanted to make sure we can back up what we say. I went to the website. I logged in. I paid the little $5 and just to make sure, you know. But then, yeah, I jumped on it. He had an April. Oh, he did do an April Fool's stream, right? Some people don't like him. Some people do. He's been, I don't know. So far, he's been a good guy, and he's offered me to come on sometimes. He hasn't done anything to me, and he did support me with this other crazy situation. I just decided not to engage back and forth, you know. Oh, he did. Michaela said Lamont at large versus Lamont on the Run credited the Glare as well. He said the Claire. I did hear that. That was pretty funny. Yeah, we were all on it really fast. Like, we're kind of like, more people are picking up on it, but we've kind of been the main ones on it. Lamont is, yeah, he's unfiltered. He just goes hard. Yeah, the only thing I had sometimes thought maybe I should have just came out and made a video and said like all this shit is not true. But I just knew that, I mean, I'd never been in a situation like that, so maybe I'd handle it differently now. But it's just kind of weird to have somebody that big come after you. You know, it's odd. You know, you think like a celebrity, it's like you don't have something better to do. But I just knew it was kind of weird because I made like one video and there was like 20 something, or I don't know how many, 10, 15 videos after. I'm like, Jesus Christ, people are some weird shit, weirdo shit. And then I just had to take measures to protect my family because I seen some weird people, not that person, but like other people, because the following people started trying to look up my kid and stuff. And then I got the death threat, dude. That video, I never posted it on YouTube, but I posted it on Facebook. The death, and the weird thing is because I was getting vague death threats, right? And at some of those people have brain cells because at least they're doing it on fake accounts. They don't have their picture, but there was this one guy that legitimately messaged me from his real Facebook profile. I was like, this can't be, because I looked up, I did a background check on the guy's name. It was him. And he was talking about sneaking around my window, coming and putting a gun in my mouth. And when I called him out on it, he had doubled down on it and said, that's what I'm going to do. He was in another state. And he had said like, oh, I have charges in Florida. And he really did. I looked him up. He legitimately had charges in Florida. And I was like, bro, some of these people, if you're going to do something, I mean, all you can do is I reported it. You know, I did a little police record. That's not going to do anything to protect you. You have to protect yourself. But if something happens and you got to do something to somebody, you'd be like, well, here's the record. You know, I was getting threats. And so, you know, I did what I had to do. Nothing they can do after that. Defending yourself. You have a record of it. I don't even see that person like that. That's why I was a little surprised when these YouTubers were like sweating somebody like that, and then they felt, I guess, like they were indebted to somebody like that. Like, if you're a shitty person, I don't care how many subscribers or like what notoriety you have, we're done. These people, they just align themselves because somebody has a following. Even if they're doing horrendous, horrible shit, well, the person's on my panel, they send me a super chat. These people sell out for $500. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess you got to look at even though it was a bad situation, you look at some of the positive. Because I was able to separate myself from a lot of people that I had heard of and now I know definitely don't mess with, or people that I even knew. I was like, okay, you know, that stuff teaches you things, and maybe it builds character. I don't know. And I mean, look where we're at today, right? That dude that was talking about that, he totally, I had to up my game. The one that made that threat on Facebook. And the thing is, the interesting thing about that threat, he had mentioned that person's name. So like most of the vague threats, they don't mention that person's name. That threat, he actually mentioned, so you can tell what incited the threat, because he had it mentioned in his little post to me or whatever, you know? So that was interesting too. So it's like proof of incitement, you know, but I just kept the record. I was like, all right. And move on though, because the whole thing with like drama too, it's just, I don't know. It's not not to my channel. It's not conducive. Other channels, it is. But to mine, I actually think I start to lose subs. If I start engaging, going back and forth, people over here really don't want to. And then it starts to bring out another side of you. You know, maybe a side that's, you know, what am I going to look like? Screaming and going back and forth. I mean, I don't have to scream. It could be decent, but I don't know. It's just not conducive for the channel. It's not good for like, I mean, business in general, or, I mean, I don't know. You see some of these people, what's happening with them. And if you guys remember too, the whole, no, I'm not talking about Anthony at all. I'm not talking about any of these guys. I'm talking about a whole separate situation for people that are new here. We're not talking about any AWP right now. This is a whole different situation with a psychopath. So, and if you guys remember how all the crazy stuff started, was like because this guy Ronnie called in, right? And so they think that I must have set it up and whatever, right? So tell me this: are all these people now with Kevin that I had on, Anthony? What do they think? Did I pay these people? Tell me that. Did I hire them to come on? What's the story now? Right? The whole concept behind these people is that I made up that Ronnie call. I don't need to do that. I'm not desperate and thirsty like that. So did I pay these people too to randomly show up on the live and call in, or the other stream? Right? So I don't know. I guess that's all I wanted to say. A little rant. It feels kind of good. And yeah, I guess we'll see what happens, man. November 30th. You know, the whole thing too, now back to the AWP thing, you know, having the conversation with Kevin, it's kind of convinced me like there's no way that Doug would know and be okay with it. But then, you know, you talk to Anthony and he's not saying that they knew. He said he assumed because he was new to AWP. He signed a contract, he was going to join. And he says that, which I got to ask him, did he tell him this vocally or was it by email? He says that he had told him there were some sort of allegations. I don't know, like specifically, I don't know if his wording was literally there's some allegations. And so he's saying that if he's new to the group and he's telling me, damn, the inner people must know. So that's the only thing I'm still kind of like lost in, you know, but in talking to Kevin and him saying the code and kind of breaking down the code, and now it kind of makes me think of the video a little bit differently, even though I think maybe he should have said something more about the victims, Doug. And maybe he did. I don't remember, but I don't think he really did. And maybe because of his binding contracts or NDA, I don't know. But at least he said something. And the whole thing too, I was thinking, well, this guy can go out and at least, well, he has his own channel. People do love him. I mean, I've seen the comments, people that support him, people on it, they love him being the face. But then it's, if he does have that contract or NDA thing or the competitive clause, whatever, he can't do work in that same realm unless Jared is convicted. Maybe that voids it. But how long would a conviction take anyway, right? Like how long? It's not going to be the first day this guy walks there on November 30th. How long could it take? Could it take years? I don't know. No, AWP did not threaten me. I'm talking about a whole different situation with another guy where somebody that follows that person had threatened me. See, now I'm caught up in the misconstruction. I'm just not, I don't want to say people's names and stuff, but it has, that whole thing I was talking about has nothing to do with like AWP. @iCkEdMeL says AWP threatened him. Oh my God. It's all over the internet. Nomac, genuine good guy, straight shooter. Thanks for having him on. And you rock, @iCkEdMeL. Keep on doing what you do. Get ready. Police pursuit coming. Shoot. Yeah. You know what's funny is that my mother had taken my daughter today. She called me, she hit me up. She's like, "Yo, Mel, I'm gonna just take a break. Just bring her by. I think at 3, bring her by. You know, come back later around 8 or something like that. Just go enjoy yourself. Take a break." And this is what I did, which I love hanging out with you guys. This is what I did. This was my break. I don't know. So oh, thanks. Yeah, I never used to wear a bracelet before. It's kind of new. I think a year ago I bought it. Watching bracelet. Not really like a jewelry person. Rotten bored. I can't believe we still have 2,500 people here and I'm just ranting. I know you need another hobby. You know, it's kind of weird because there's times where I've taken a break from YouTube and it's almost kind of like depressing. And then when I come, sometimes doing YouTube makes my day. Sometimes I could be having a bad day and just coming out here and hanging out. I feel better, which is kind of weird. I don't know if that's good or not. Si yo hablo español, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Gracias. I don't know if his wife is supporting. That's a good question. I have no idea. Maybe she's going to stand by his side and unless he gets convicted, you know? Question is, when will CBS, CNN, and all the other alphabets speak on Jared? My thing is, so somebody try to make the argument that like the election thing's going on, but like these people cover all kinds of stories all the time. It's nothing to make an article. They have so many employees and stuff at these companies. Kevin believes, he said once November 30th, once this guy's actually, maybe when it gets closer or he actually goes to trial or for the hearing or whatever, maybe they'll say something. I think the allegations alone should be enough for these people to at least say, hey, there's some allegations. It's a little weird. It does feel like I'm talking to my friends. It's because you're talking to your friends. This is what I tell. This is what I told. I've told a couple people this before. Like, I don't normally hang like in real life, like outside of like YouTube. I don't normally hang out with people. All my friends are married. They have kids. They're working their like 40-hour jobs. If we hang out, it's once every couple of months or something like that. It's either me and my daughter, or sometimes there's one friend once in a blue moon that we hang out for the kids that play around and stuff. But for the most part, yeah, it is from JLP. JLP got canceled too. He had some weird stuff going on. I still don't know what to think about that. But yeah, my friends are you guys. My friends are coming here on YouTube. My friends are the mods and stuff that I talk to all the time. My friends are my actual friends that I was working with and that I like went to high school with and graduate. They all have jobs and family and married and kids, and I'm here on the computer a lot of the time unless I'm out to the beach with my daughter by myself. You're my friend AWP MEMBER. You're stuck with some of us crazy ladies. I sometimes think that I have too many women in my life. I don't think they're gonna refund people, man. I don't. First of all, I don't think there's an obligation to refund. I don't think there's an obligation, but maybe a moral person might be like, yeah, let's popcorn life. A moral person might be like, okay, we're gonna give the money back, but this guy is probably gonna need that money. He looks like somebody that's not gonna, give money back. Is popcorn live? I don't. Oh, I was wrong. Let's see. I don't see Popcorn live. He's not live. He was live 2 hours ago. He met Johnny Depp? No, he didn't. We met Johnny Depp? No. I want to meet Johnny Depp. Does he show the video? Where in the video does he show it? Oh, I guess it's just like a picture, maybe. I guess he met Johnny Depp. Damn, man, you got to connect me. Connect me with Johnny. I guess there's no video, but it's like a live stream, and I think they're just talking about it. Oh, he talked about Doug Bishop, I guess. I wonder what they thought about it. Can we listen? Should we listen? Should we just go? Doug Bishop. There's a video? All right, let's see. Popcorn Planet. I should get off. I'm going to need timestamps on this video too. Oh, he did do a video. Let's see. World exclusive. Oh my God. That's incredible that this guy met Johnny. Wow. How did you do that? Damn. I like that jacket. Oh my gosh. That's a sleek jacket. Where did he meet him? Was this in Vegas? Is that when he went out to Vegas? I've never been to Vegas. Maybe I need to go visit Vegas sometime. I hear like it's overrated though, Vegas. Just some machines and what, prostitutes or little escorts, right? Prostitutes, that's cancel worthy. I don't know. What's the term now? I don't know. Canceled. Yeah, but that's what it's known for, like sex work, I should say, maybe, right? Machine, sex work, having fun, partying. I don't know. That's awesome that he met him, though. I wonder if they got to hang out or how long they spoke for. Amazing. I have one nice jacket, but I would like something like what he has. That looks really nice. That blue one, I think that looked really good on me. Yeah, I should get out of here. To turn into that chick, though, we'd have to do like an 8-hour stream, though. 8-10 hour stream. About nothing. Or the same shit over and over and over. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Lisa, thank you so much for the super chat. Sending love. Definitely need a chase. Brittany says, we need a good car chase to decompress from all this. This is heavy stuff. It is. Sunny D, thank you for the membership. I sent you a video on Instagram. I'll check it out. And Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you again. Appreciate it, man, for coming through. Hang out with him for an hour after the concert. Wow. Wow. I wonder if they had any special extracurricular substances, or was it just, you know, hanging out. Love you guys. Take care. Peace. Hit like on the way out. Bye. I will. I'm going to check out Exploring with Nug. I'm going to listen to it while I do what I got to do in the background. Yeah, make sure you guys check out Exploring with Nug. Exploring with Nug. I'll drop the video one more time. He's still talking. Oh, he has people on there right now, too. He has somebody, I think somebody from AWP.
Remember, every morning we would go to Cracker Barrel and
We'll put the link one more time in the chat. Love you guys. Take care. I'm out of here. Peace.